Wig predictions back. It's up, it's ready. And happy birthday, Steely! Can we get a happy birthday in the chat for Steely?
Just wanna be pure.
The water is warm, but it's sending me shivers. A baby is born, crying out for attention. Memories fade, like looking through a fog mirror. Decisions are made and I bought, but I thought this wouldn't hurt a lot. I guess not. Control yourself, take only what you need from it.
What's you change? Do you love me? Do you need me? Do you want me? Do you love me?
Daddy, no!
Daddy, yes!
Almighty _ white _ tiger 1984 gifted a tier 1 sub to Amiga Yara.
Yo, thank you, White Tiger.
I just wanna be pure.
I'll be falling down, you'll be watching by my side, by my side. I just need a helping hand, I just need you in my life, in my life. Let's keep driving baby, please just call me back. You keep moving in my mind, feeling so inside, yeah, inside. Into pieces, I'm so alone. Into pieces, I'm so alone. I'm so I'm so falling into pieces. I'm so alone. Falling into pieces. I'm so alone. I'm so falling into pieces. I'm so alone. Falling into pieces. I'm so alone. Let's keep driving back, baby. Please just call me back. You keep moving in my mind, feeling so inside, yeah, inside. Falling into pieces. I'm so alone. Into pieces, I'm so and under your control. Don't want you to ever let me go. Cause you make me feel, you make me feel. With every touch your body feels like home.
This Kyle's on fire.
And oh my, what's on my other hand?
Yo, finally, we're not matching anymore. For fuck's sakes. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. It's Thursday. Oh my God. What does Thursday mean? Nothing for me. But for you guys, it means that the weekend's almost fucking here. Let's go. All right, let me say hello to you guys. You guys have been lit today because it is Steely's birthday. Did you celebrate it with your ex, Katy Perry? He said, ew. Don't talk about your ex like that. That's wild. Just kidding. Happy heckin' birthday. GG's on getting 212 daily seashells, but homegrown tacos redeemed first redemption. Wow. So I gave homegrown tacos 5 fishing casts into pound. GG's. Misty! Hi, Misty. Homegrown tacos. GG's. Redeeming that first. You know, it's not easy. There are a few people who are always pretty damn fast at that. Who is it? Valerie's always pretty damn fast. Steely's always pretty damn fast. Deftones sometimes is pretty damn fast. Peter used to be. When Peter was around, he was the one. He was the first redeemer all the time. You, White Tiger? Yeah, you too. Yeah, you guys fight for it. You guys do a good job of getting here first. GG's. GG's for getting here first. Yo, and then a lot of you guys that I just mentioned also redeem first and then are here all the way until the end when we raid out. Like, that's so long. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here with me all the way to the end. From the beginning all the way to the end. Even if you know, thank you to everybody else too, but like, you know, I notice you. I see you. I see you. Okay. Let me keep saying hello. Let's stop. Hold on. Misttieo. There we go. I have to put it up here. Okay. I forgot. Alrighty. So Lexi, hello Lexi. Welcome in, Lexi. How you feeling today, girl? How you feeling today? Tyler, yo, Tyler, welcome in, Tyler. Hello, good to see you here bright and early as well today too. Oh snap, Steely redeemed. Where are my glasses? Where are my glasses? Where are my glasses? They need to be cleaned off. I literally can't even really see right now. They're very dirty. What is all over them? Good evening, lurking. Thank you for the lurk of the dude. I hope you're well. I hope you're well. Hugs to you, the dude. Major hugs. I know you don't want that, but I'm giving it to you. Yo, homegrown
Taco? Holy shit! You got a THC gummy out of the pond within like the first freaking 5 minutes of starting stream? Jesus! Alright, you know what that
It's THC Gummy! Thank you so much, homegrown tacos! Let's go. We got some live rosin solvents, THC bomb, the brand called Drops. The brand called Drops. Don't forget that Urban Dictionary word. Okay. I haven't got there yet. Yeah, I'll do that. Yo, White Tiger got 0% pure. The fuck? Did you give him 5 fishing casts in the pond for getting 0? Bro, what?
Thank you. Thank you. How much smartness do you think I am? Whoa! Hold up. White Tiger got 0% pure and 69% low battery. Okay, so he gets 5 for that, 5 for the other. Mod, can I get your help with that, please? One of my mods, Misty, I believe. Because I don't know if you've already done it. Wee, goes my brain. Wee, what's going on now, girl? You feeling good today? You feeling good today? Hi, Deftones. Welcome in, Deftones. Good to see you here. Happy Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. Happy Thursday. Tuesday, Thursday. Happy all the days. Happy all the days. Amy, hi Amy. You have no ads. Yeah, thanks to.
Now I had to get on the inside. Like a blind man at an orgy, I was going to have to feel things out.
Feel things out? Okay, well, hello, Imane. Imane, I've got another mod in here. Woo! It feels good to have mods. Thank you. Hello, welcome in. That's trauma. That blurb is trauma. I'll be honest. Not blurb, command, clip. Whatever we want to identify it as. Welcome in. White Tiger, thank you so much for the gifted sub to Amy. Again, I'm glad Amy has no ads and access to all those emotes. I know she loves those emotes. Let me just get your name on our very first completed snowflake. Yes, our very first completed snowflake. I think I'm gonna put it along the border of the white spots right there. I think that's where they should go. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
What do you think? What do you think?
What do you think? Exactly. What do you think? 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 What do you think?
What do you think? What do you think?
What do you think? What do you think? Okay, let me get some tape and tape that bad boy up.
What do you think?
What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? 2 in the pink, 7 in the stink. How about 1 in my blink?
I'm living my best life. I don't know
What?
where it's taking me, and that's fine.
What, mermaid?
At least it's what I'm making, so I don't mind.
Our very first completed snowflake. Oh yeah! Let's freaking go! Thank you guys so much. Thank you so freaking much. Remind yourself to clean those glasses off. They're not very clean. I'll put them over here. Not no more you're not. Not no more you're not pure. Not no more you're not. 46? Yeah, that's pretty low. I do love how is our hi, hello, excellent. I don't understand what this means, the dude. I do love how pure, bop, bop, bop. This, you do love how that emote is our hi/hello to who? You and Misty. That's cute. You and Misty. I was confused. And now I'm unconfused. Fartage? No, you can't do that. No, you don't do that. Not fartage. Yeah. White Tiger at 0 and 69. I'm half alive today. Well, I'm half alive too. No, I'm actually feeling okay. I had to go get another Walmart pickup order, FFS. They didn't give me salsa. I was running out of toilet paper and milk. And a few other things. So I had to go get another fucking Walmart order, for fuck's sakes. They moved the Walmart pickup area too. I saw them working on removing it, but now it's official. I don't hate Walmart, me neither. I just feel like I go there so much. Ugh. It's because I just prefer the pickup. I don't want to go inside. I don't want to spend longer than 20 minutes. And that's not really possible if you go inside. I don't want to waste. I don't care to be around people. And people don't care to be around me either, so it's a win-win. No. No, it's good. It's. I like the pickups. They're good. They're good for me. So I had to do that. Then I did some dishes. Had a phone call. Hung out with the babies, aka cats. Toby's doing better. He has not been throwing up. He has not been dying. Thank God. He was sneezing for a little while too, but he's seems to be okay. I just heard my dishwasher beep. It is complete. Dishwasher is complete. Oh wow. He had a bot. Wait, there's a bot here. Held message for using channel block terms. Cheap viewers. Well, I'm glad it was a held message. Sorry, bot. You didn't get to post what you wanted. Ha ha ha. Got him. Got him. You guys have some wild follow ages. You know, I think I enjoyed your rainbow days. Maybe we could do it again someday. Did you though? Did you though? Let's do a poll. Did you enjoy the rainbow week? AKA bring it back. Okay, let's be for specific here. Okay, for certain. Let's get real. Let's be serious. Did you like it? Yes. I'd like to see it again. It was cool for one go. Or I hated it for you. Okay. I hated it for you. Okay, so which one? Thank you for not being a bot, Deftones. That was good. We had a bot. Glad you're not one. No, I haven't celebrated my birthday yet. No, I don't even have an ex nor a girlfriend. Oh man. Me neither. But I have so far gone for a walk with my best church friend. And then for supper, it's pizza time. And that same friend will be there. Plus other family friends in a party room. Oh, I love that. Aww, you went for a walk with your best church friend for your birthday. That's so wholesome. That is literally so pure. You are him. You are what we need to be in life. I love that, Steely. Hug at Steely. I hope you have the best pizza time. I tried to beat it to the end, but I fell asleep at midnight. Girl, beat it. I tried to beat to the end. Beat what to the end? If you're gonna beat it to the end, that means like jacking off, girl. You're gonna beat it to the end? What are you doing? What the fuck is that? Bruh, you asked the bot to dance. Bruh, what the fuck is this? Literally, this is the stupid bot message. Look at what I pinned. Stupid! My stupid bots are freaking coercion. Look at this. Misty has asked comprehensive for LoQVT whatever to dance. Wow. That's so stupid. It was not even a message that was acceptable in the chat. Yet it was an acceptable person to dance with. Alright, let's do the Urban Dictionary. Urban Dicks. Finish him! The classic line from Mortal Kombat. Finish him! That's literally iconic, bruh. I don't think anyone doesn't know what that means. I even know. I used to play Mortal Kombat when I was like 7. I was a child. It was for babies. Mortal Kombat's for babies. I played it when I was 7. Like 6, 7. I'm just fucking around. Sorry. I'm just being a turd. A fart in the wind. I got a Skittable edible tonight. Skittle edible. What the heck is a Skittle edible? Skittable edible. What is that though? Like, all I know as Skittles is just like these. How are these edibles? Are they infused? Sorry, I'm a slow responder. I'm playing League of Legends. Girl, I'm a slow responder and I'm just sitting here trying to talk and chat and read. Also, I know you don't identify as a girl. I just say that to everybody. Yeah, it's doing good. No hugging. I bite. What if I like that? Yo, 20 stream streak. Wow. GG's for 20 stream streak. The dude, that's so many. That's so many streams. Hard to tab over to the other screen mid-battle. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry, I got you. I'm glad you're here. Don't die. Don't die trying to jab. Is this hair an homage to Grinch Mermaid I made? Yes. Yes, it is an homage to the Grinch. Do you like it? The Grinch is there. It's still there, but you can't see his butt as well. I think we might have to move him. He might have to find a new home somewhere else. I originally had him here, but then he's too dark down there. Maybe over here. And then I need to take the leaves down eventually since we're going into snow mode. Speaking of wigs, black and green was 39, long light green was 18, and long dark green was 43. I was all greening out for you guys. Definitely an homage to Grinch. Either way. Either way, we are greened out. Can you believe I had 3 green wigs? Damn. I don't even think I have 3 pink wigs. The fishing doesn't work. It's broken. It's borked. Oh, no fishing. Okay. I'm reopening it. Can you redo? You reissue? Do you know what we need? Do you know what we need? Hang them from the ceiling? That's a good idea. But eye level for stream is about here. You know? This is about to my chest, my boobies. I don't want to be walking around with dodging snowflakes. You know what I mean? It's cute. It's a cute idea in theory, but realistically, it's easy back there. It's easy to put up. It's easy to take down. You can see them. It's not in the way. Good idea though. You want to peep the nails? Well, see what happened. What happened was, no, actually nothing. They're the same. They're the same as what you saw yesterday. Even this one is hanging on with no top coat. Just the one coat of, what is it called? Simply Deceased. And then my pinky nail still is unpainted and stained and has a little black spot under there. I can't get it out. I don't know what it is. We'll figure it out later. It's food for the year. And actually, look, I have a little thing. There, I got it. It was a little stucked. It was stucked. Anyways, someone wants to check who's the Pierce chatter and you have less than 30 seconds left. Less than 30 seconds. Exclamation mark Pierre. If you're the Pierce one, then you get 10 fishing casts into pond for free. I am at 24. I will not be the purest one, that's for sure. Hey, that rhymed. Let's go. I'm on that thing with Kyle. You are on that thing with Kyle. Our very first snowflake. Woo! See? We could be looking at Cherry's November butt right now. I could put the calendar butt on the back of Cherry. That's smart. Wait. The dude, that's brilliant.
I just want to be.
I'll put this on the back of Cherry. So then every time I go, you guys like that? Yeah, that's smart. I just have to figure out how to get it to stay.
Pure.
Yeah, I just want to be pure too. Woo! And then, okay, it would have looked really good. I think you can hear me. It would have looked really good with last month's. Hey, yo, Cherry is caked. Okay, but then what about next month? December. Hey, yo, that looks like my ass, but like coming through the chair. Like it looks like my butt right now. Oh no, it looks like my literal ass right now in pants, in my sweatpants. This is my booty. Oh no! I just want to be 0% pure. Lola, do you though? I don't think we need it. We need you to be 100% pure, silly munchkins. Welcome in, girl. Welcome in. All right, I'm gonna still catch up. If I was a sim, I want to be a female slut one. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, okay, we could, well, you know, where were you when we were creating Sims? Where were you? 20 for you too, Lord Velos. Wow, welcome in, Velos. Hold on, I know I'm still catching up. I just saw your message about the Sims. I need to put this song on my faves. On the feeling hype. There we go. Yes, you'd like to see it again. 7 votes. Oh my god. And 0, it was cool for one go, and 0, I hated it for you. Wow. Okay, you guys did like it? That's wild. Okay, so then I'll write it back now. I'll write it back down on my list here. Rainbow Week. Oh. You got your Depo shot today. Finally. Fuck these cramps. Girl, I need one of those too. I asked my psychiatrist, the one that prescribes me medication, I asked her if she can get me a script for the Depo shot. And she said no. It's the other kind of doctor, my regular kind of doctor, so. I don't even know who my regular doctor is under this insurance. I haven't seen, I don't know. What's a doctor? What's a doctor under regular, like not one that I have? What other kind is there? Mostly because the general public sucks ass in a bad way. It does suck ass in a bad way. Because, you know, there is sucking ass in a good way, too. Oh, you redeemed it at the start, Steely. No wonder why I didn't see it. No wonder why I didn't see it. Gio! Hi, Gio! Gio! What's up? Welcome in, Gio! Guys, if you're not following Gio, Gio is the homie. Shout out Gio Fat 75. Gio Fat identifies as an orange cat. And we were over there playing Jackbox. I say we. Me, you, Brew joined in at the end. You guys know Colma? Deftones was there. Yeah, we had quite a few people hanging out over there last night. That was fun. Every Wednesday, in fact. So go follow Gio. Make sure you're following Gio. And he does other stuff too. Mondays is movie nights over there. So go check him out. Go check the homie out. Just make sure you just follow him. Follow so that way you can see when he's streaming next, okay? Just do it. Go do it. Follow now, right now. Click it. Hurry, it's gonna disappear. Click it, for fuck's sakes. I put in mod chat something cursed but funny. Okay, can I check it after stream? Maybe 1 to 2 times a year. That would be cool. Rainbow week. Okay, noted. Duly noted. Duly noted. You know, I realized I just forgot to take my meds. Thank you for the 2 bits. Turning on the fish boost. The fish boost is off now, though. Sorry. I know I'm yapping. I'm yapping. Well, if you go out and touch grass, you might. Not a chance. We usually walk about once a week. Oh, that's really good. How far do you normally walk? I want to finish the prediction, but I'm worried I would choose the wrong wig. And they're all green choices. Would you have chosen this one, E-Money? Indy with the windy, with the 131 daily seashells. Jack it off. Excuse me? You said jack it off. Hi, Sports. Welcome in. BRB? Okay.
Huh?
I pinned the message. I pinned the message. Look, it says jack it off. My mod said that. Is there news on the gossip war front, aka Danny? Gossip war front is crazy. And no, there's no update. I thought about that earlier though. No. I don't expect there to be either. Like, what's gonna come out of that? Who cares? They don't care. Nobody cares. Nobody really cares. There's more important things in life. There are bigger and better and more interesting dramas or non-dramas, just funny stuff. I don't like drama.
Huh?
Jack it off for my comfort. Where did you guys learn this from? This is new. This is new. I am confusion. They're saying the word like jacket, like this something that you put on. That's the word that they're saying, like a jacket, like a sweatshirt, a coat of not nail polish. Don't be confused with nail polish. Not a coat of nail polish, a jacket of nail polish. Guys, we need to go to Polish Mountain. We need to jacket to Polish Mountain. We need a jacket for Polish Mountain. We've already been live for 40 minutes. Are you serious? Instead of a gummy, they're Skittles, but THC. But like, no, they're like not branded Skittles. It's just like the idea of Skittles, right? Like the style of it. Yeah. That makes sense. Is it Friday yet? Almost. Actually, basically, yeah, Shara. Because you're probably off work now, which means that Thursday's over. So Friday is, yeah, it's here. It's here. It's Friday yet. Yeah, it's Friday. Once you sleep, it's Friday. Boom. Easy. I wonder if there's some tea. There's no tea. Speaking of tea, I need my fucking David's tea order. Where's my David's tea? You know what I read? Okay, I went back and opened up their email about why it was delayed. And it said something like, it's crossing the border. It says, we noticed that your order is stuck in label created, awaiting shipment, or similar status. This means though your order has left our warehouse, it is stuck at our U.S. border due to significant backlog. You will not see additional movement until they work through it. While it's beyond our control, we'd extend our sincerest apologies for this inconvenience. We remain hopeful it will make it to you soon. So, I don't know where the fuck my David's tea order is, but it'll be here once it travels all the way from Canada. It's true, it is a Canadian brand. Though the label created says New York, though the location New York is literally just below the Canadian border. So I don't know what they do about that. They have it figured out somehow, one way. One way it'll get to me, they're confident. Mermaid's Grinch is better. I think the one that you made is pretty epic though, dude. It's pretty spot on. That AI'd one. Yeah. Loving the hair. Oh, thank you, Silly Munchkins. Oh, did we give the winner of the Pierce Chatter check the Fishy Cast of the Pond? It looks like it was Misty with 95. I need to do my mani, but it's been busy. Monday's right around the corner. If you don't end up doing it sooner than that. Thank you, E-Money. I see it. Oh, it shot me down to the bottom for fuck's sakes. I was so close. I was so close. Hold on. Now I have to go find where it was. Okay, oh, there. Mermaid, look in mod chat. Oh, right now? Cherry is gonna moon us. Yes. I wanna be zero. That's like Silly Munchkins with the lizard button. Zero pure. Whoa, it looks like I'm doing something else. Okay, wait. Mod chat. Girl, no! I don't need to see this right now. Thought it was something important. Hop Kebab. 21 daily seashells. Hi, Hop Kebab. Welcome in. Probably in someone else's stream. What? Base game is free. Everyone can make slutty Sims in theory. True, Valerie. The base game of The Sims 4 is free. You can make a slutty sim if you want. Easy, free. Well, though, Valerie, we do say everyone can make it. Only people with PCs. Or like a playable console. Which unfortunately, I don't even think Lord Velos has. No! I'm just gonna put my sim in the hot tub and leave it there. That works. And then make sure you put a streamer camera connected to Twitch. I know a lot of people that don't like the depot, but if you're cool with it, then the more power to you. I've never had it. I want to learn more about it. I was really a fan of the IUD. The only thing I didn't like about it is that my body knew something was there. My body knew a foreign object was inside of me the entire time, but I was very aware that it was there. That's the only thing I didn't like. Now I feel like I could do like crunches and shit. Not that I ever do crunches, but I feel like I can do them. Oh yeah, Ubisoft is giving away a great game for free right now called Immortal Phoenix Rising. Oh, can you put that in my Discord? That's cool. My OBGYN prescribes it, but for endo, a primary might be able to prescribe it if there are no healthcare concerns. I don't know. True. She didn't mention anything to me about all that shit. Maybe she just doesn't really know either. Well, it's not like I'm sexually active anyways. I'm a virgin. So it's not like I have to be super rush caring about it. It's more so for the no periods and no cramps. It's more so for that. But if there are going to be worse side effects, you know, I have to look into it. You never want worse side effects than something that you're treating. Okay, anyways. When my periods are not even that bad. What's a doctor? Some guy that charges an arm and a leg just to be seen in pretty much... Wait, an arm and a leg just to be seen in pretty much anything. Yeah. And then they make you wait so long, and then they talk to you for 5 minutes. 5 minutes! I was gonna show you something. Right now. Oh! Okay, it's not important. I was gonna show you something, but never mind. I think I want to go check Discord because Danger Boy did something crazy today. Who the fuck is Danger Boy, Sports? I identify as Gio's homie. Aw, that's nice. We all do. We all do. Med check. Take your meds. Okay. Self-care. Exclamation mark. SC. SC Johnson. Is that true? What is that? What is SC Johnson? What is that? You know what I just noticed? Simply Deceased packaging looks like me today. Wow! Look at us. Simply Deceased. All right, kill time. You identify as a blue cat. A blue freezy cat? What the fuck is that blue? Oh, a blue freezy cat. The polish. Fair. I would have gotten this prediction choice right this time. I just wasn't sure. Yeah, the black. Yeah. Fair. Black and green. It's not a bad day, Huggy, and the excitement hug. I needed it. My adrenaline shot through the roof. Can we give hugs in the chat for sports, please? Hug at sports. Hug sports. Hug sports. Hug sports. Hug sports. Hug sports. I'm screenshotting this message from you, Chris. Oh no, why didn't the clips work? That's fucking stupid. Yo, GG Sports for having a 5-stream streak. Babysets wants you to jack it off. No, don't say that. That's... Don't put baby and the word jacket in the same sentence, please. Oh, fucking hate it here. Everything sucks. This is the bad place.
I hate it here. 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 I hate it. I hate it here.
Not branded Skittles. I would like some not branded THC Skittles. Are they very reminiscent of Skittles though? They have the hard shell and the chewy center. Just like we all know and love. Would you help your uncle jack off a horse, or would you help your uncle jack off a horse? What? I'm pretty sure I don't have an uncle named Jack, so it doesn't matter. Band-Aid for not letting me type T? Yeah, David's T. Why is it always David's T? I don't know. Why is it always David? What does that even mean, Valerie? Why is it always David's T? What does that even mean? Why is it always David's T? What does that mean? Valerie, what? I'm still waiting for my Born Ugly polish.
Huh?
Oh, mine just arrived yesterday, Silly Munchkins. Yours should be on its way. Yours should be arriving soon, is what I mean. New York is probably the distributor. I don't know. It's possible. It sounds like it, right? I think you might want to go check Discord because Danger Boy did something crazy today. Who the fuck is Danger Boy? And what's going on in Discord? What? Literally. I don't need to check this right now. What the fuck? I'm trying to catch up on messages. Chase! Sparks! Danger Boy! I can't check that shit right now. I'm trying to catch up on messages. Hold on. Pains in your knees? Oh no, take some meds for the pains in your knees. Oh, you think Xbox Sims 4 base game is on Xbox 2? Do you have the Xbox 2, Lord Velos? Wait, you are a virgin? Yeah. Stay pure, bestie. This world sucks. It does. It sucks ass and not in a good way. I think it'd be pretty hard to get pregnant by another woman, but I'm no doctor. True. I've never had sex with a woman either. They're saying you've never been with another woman or man at all? I mean, I pass no judgments, but I find that very rare these days or something. Yeah, I've never been with anybody. I've never been kissed.
I just want to be pure.
Well, ain't that a lie? I am pure. No, I'm never, I'm a virgin mouth, virgin body, virgin eyes. I've never seen anything. Virgin ears. I've never heard anything. Virgin mind. I don't think anything impure. Just all virgin. All. My name should be Virginia, and I should live in Virginia. That's how much of a virgin I am. Okay? Let's get it right.
Okay, anyways.
You know what? I take it all back. It's none of my business. Well, you got the answer anyways, Lord Velos. I do love Blue Freezy and cats. Me too. Me too, but maybe not at the same time. They're literally Skittles, but not branded. But wait, Valerie, are they the same color as all the Skittles? Like, are they the exact same color and like width and shape and size as all of each other as well? Are they 100%? Yes! Literally Skittles. Wait, what else can I ask about these fucking Skittles? Do they have an S on them? Do they have an S on them, Valerie? I'm just being a dick. They sound good. Oh no. Oh no, the dude. It just got super rainy. Actually, you know what's kind of crazy? It's gonna fucking rain like crazy this upcoming week. It's gonna rain Friday, Saturday, maybe even a little bit today. And then, oh, it's not telling me right now. But earlier, okay, maybe I'll check on my phone. Earlier, it was saying it was like, look at this! This is crazy. Okay, this is dangerous. I'm gonna screenshot it. Look at this. This is so cray-cray. I don't live where it should rain. Look at this. Today, 35% chance. Friday, 95. Saturday, 100. Sunday, 65. Monday, 55. Tuesday, 45. What is this? Oh, and then it doesn't stop. Oh, it didn't stop. It actually didn't stop. We have sun for Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday again. It's literally rain all fucking week. I would never have that. I never have that. That's wild. I'm kind of excited too. I know, I'm kind of excited too. It's a 100% chance of lie. No! Jeepers, you're gonna freeze. No, it's not gonna be that. It's not gonna be cold. Oh, it's gonna be quite cold on some of those days. Yeah, in the 40s, huh? But the high over here is, you know, not too bad. It's not freezing. It's not freezing. Well, I guess we are jacking off horses tonight. No. First of all, horses don't even wear jackets. So we don't need to jack off. We don't need to take, no, we don't. No, I fucking hate it here. This is terrible. This is the bad place. This is the terrible place.
I hate it here. I hate it here. I hate it here.
Don't dance to this. Don't you dare. I'm gonna ban you. Fuck, Misty. I can't ban you. You're a fucking mod. It made sense 20 minutes ago. I know, I'm so behind. This is a two-man job. What? Keeping up with my chat? Yeah. Your tea is with my polish. Lost together. No! I hope they're not lost, but if they are, I hope they're together. But hopefully they can find their way to us because they're both coming west. I'm not gonna dox us. What an amazing day on the track. I was just racing to do my thing, and I don't know what happens, but I didn't even know what to say. But if you see on Discord what happened, I don't even know what to say. All I could say is we did a hell of a good job today. Just had a great day on the track. Phenomenal great day. I had a great car. Did my best. Did my job today. Drove with everything I got. We did a hell of a good job today. Still learning this thing, so. You sound like you're on a good one today, sports. Let's go! Phenomenal job. GG's. What place did you place? What place did you place? Sports? Does the S on the Skittles stand for sports? Literally, Skittles. Do they have the S? Do they have the S, Valerie? Nah, I sat on some of them, so some of them are squished. Fuck. Jealous. I'm missing the rainy Portland weather so much. Are you? Come over here for a week. Just a week. It says rain coming in about 3 hours. I swear, I think it's here now. I think the rain's here now. Unmod, then ban me. No. Mermaid, if I get banned for this link, it's your fault. Look, you didn't get banned. Oh, look, look, look. It's the Skittles. Please don't ban me, but look, it's Skittles. I am older than 21. Uh-oh. Are you sure you want this link here? It has the location of where it's from. These are not Skittles. These are not Skittles! I knew it. I knew I was onto something. I knew I was onto something. This is not Skittles. I'm just fucking with you, girl. No, these look delicious. These look very fun and fun to pop in your mouth. And like you could just eat a whole handful and all of a sudden you're high. Yeah, no, these look fun. I like it. That's actually perfect for people who want like a really small dose too, you know? Just one Skittle, really small dose. Yeah, low dose. Yeah. Mermaid would put those little balls in her mouth right away. Right away. But they're only green and red. There's only green and red. And they're all weird sizes. That's why I was being a shit. I was asking questions about them. They don't have the letter S. There's the brand doesn't say Skittles. It's literally not Skittles. I'm such a shit. Okay. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on from me trolling. Yeah, small dose edibles for me all the way. I even cut those in half. I'm such a lightweight. That's good though. I'm glad you know what you can tolerate. Wow, White Tiger. From what I've seen, she put anything in her mouth. I mean, it's not true. I mean, it's not false. This is a good song. Wet. This one's going on the Feeling Hype playlist as well. Looks like Christmas Skittles to me. True. Looks like Skittles. Looks like Skittles. It's Skittles shaped. Skittle taste. Must be Skittles. I know. I'm just being a stupid head. I'm just being a stupid head. Like even these ones that I have, these are actually like Skittle branded, but they don't look like Skittles to me either. These don't look like Skittles to me either, and I don't even think they have the S on them either. So I'm just being a shit. Do they have the S on them? If they do, it's like, oh no, it's like all rubbed off or something. They do look tasty though. These, I mean, maybe at one point they were. I don't know about now. I don't want to eat them because I think I did at one time. Like I tried one flavor of each, But I don't want to eat them all because they feel like limited edition iconic snacks. If I eat them all, then I won't be able to show everybody how cute they are. Those look like somebody already sucked the flavor out. That's such a negative way to look at these. No, they're pastel. They're not sucked. Oh, they do look like that. Thanks a lot. Way to take some pre-sucked. Way to take something good and ruin it. Did I mention I hate it here? This is the third time I've typed this in the chat and we've only been here an hour.
I hate it here. I hate it here. I hate it here. I hate it here.
Let's open up the Sims so I can fuck with you guys. Let's open up the Sims so I can continue to fuck with you guys. Ha! I'm in charge. Oh, fuck. But formerly known as Chris is not a Sim in the game. For fuck's sakes, I want to fuck with you. I gotta go, bestie. Need to get in line. Uh-oh, get in line. Uh-oh. Good luck. Have a good day. I'm gonna go leak the position, but let's just say I went to the Mad Max mode. What does that mean? Okay. Okay. You wanna what with me? What I said. That's not what I said. I mess with you. That's what I said. I want to mess with you. I want to troll you. I want to troll your ass. Because you troll me. Alright, Sims is jopening up. It is jopening. That's not what I heard. No, I said fucking with. I said messing with. Fucking with, messing with. It's the same thing, basically. We don't need to get serious. We don't need to get particular. This, to be honest. No! Y'all, thank you so much, Misty. I literally forgot WMod. WMod. I always forget to change the freaking categories because you're so on top of it. W. Good game songs?
Chima Rabu, Steve Pomble, two, Smebs Wooney, Hinawanu.
You guys hear that? It might need to be a little louder.
Elefoy, Mishka Froms, Tuuni Kanef.
That better? They're just talking. They're not even saying anything interesting. Oh, look! Kyle has my baby. And I'm like, Kyle, give me my baby back. And he's like, nah, she's stinky butt. I like it. He likes the stinky butt. Look, I'm angry. Oh no, I'm angry. Oh yeah, what was the fix? Oh, the clear cache thing. The clear cache. Yeah, as soon as I cleared the cache out and then it gave me the option to like it was really weird. It said that the island thing was installed but not downloaded. So as soon as I cleared the cache, it gave me the option to download the installed file. And I was like, okay, that's fucking weird. But at least it gave me the option to download it this time. So I clicked that and it worked. Everything worked. Though I don't know what the button is to have the little thing come up in the corner where you search for stuff. The little cheat. We don't cheat here, but the little cheat. I don't know if that works or what I even need to press to check that. Sims shaking my head. I know, right? Shit. Okay, I don't even know what the fuck we were doing in this game. Yeah, that. I don't even know. Okay, Control Shift C. There, that. Test. I guess it works. If I'm able to do that, I guess it works, right? Oh, cheats on. Okay. BB testing cheats on. That?
Ooh, man.
Thenip!
Jessica has to pee. Jessica has to go pee. Jessica, go pee. What are you doing? You're viewing a photo? Can you not? Can you not view the photo when you have to take a pee? Maybe you have to take a shit. Oh, are both of our toilets broken? No, this one works. For fuck's sakes. A black tie affair. Hire to play piano for a private black tie event. Kyle forgets to pick up a tux at the rental shop. With no time left and limited option, he could either borrow one that's a little tight or dress down and hope no one notices. Borrow something a little tight. Luckily, the piano was somewhat concealed by two stated ferns and elegantly sweeping staircase. Despite difficulty breathing and unsteady pain, his gut, Kyle plays moderately well and goes utterly unnoticed. Small performance game. Good. Me and wifey want a baby. I think you guys are still children. Ain't that the truth? No, literally. No, I think you're still identified as a preteen or something. Yeah. You're still a young adult. You're still a young adult. It takes 8 more days until you age up into an adult. You guys are still children. What about Misty? Misty too. She's still a child. Damn. I know, right? Young adults can have babies, I'm pretty sure. What? Not in this household, they're not. Holy jeepers, was in your bathroom? Sims us back? What? Yeah, that's Jessica. She's taking a shit. Oh, she real happy about her shit. Yo, someone screenshot that. She was real happy about that shit. Damn. Google says young adults can get pregnant. Wow. Young adults can get pregnant. Okay, so let's see where we can get their relationships going. Where are you right now? Your relationship with Brian is just a romantic interest. So we got to get it up before you guys can fuck. You know, we have to get it up. It's just in real life. Don't write. Why are you writing? Stop trying to gatekeep the babies. I'm not trying to gatekeep the babies. We have to work as a team, chat. We have to work as a team. This is crazy. First of all, you need to have the relationship at least be able to have a baby, okay? If it's not the age, it's the relationship. So I'm not gatekeeping. It's just the way that The Sims works. Oh, Misty, you're trying to clean up the floor? How about you just fix the toilet? All right, Sim Jason, you're feeling tense. Why? Dancing? Oh, I'm trying to take care of my child. What a good idea. Oh, fuck. Put Lexi down here. Oh, fuck, Lexi. No. I need to change your poopy diaper. Give me your poopy diaper. Give me your poopy diaper. Baby care. Change diaper. Why? Clean up. Give back. Oh, it's not a poopy diaper. She's just stinky. She just smells really bad. So we need to give her a bath. Come here, mermaid. Give your child a fucking bath, for fuck's sakes. Why are you uncomfortable? Cold in the middle of food and unpleasant surroundings. It's your child that's the unpleasant surrounding. Oh, and there's a diaper on the floor. Cool. Who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this? Have you tried calling a nanny? No, try to do it myself. There's 700 people in this house who we don't need a nanny. But who the fuck is this guy? I don't know him. I did not create this guy. How did he get into our house? Who are you? He wants to talk to Misty. He's gonna steal your girl. He's a Mr. Steal your girl. White Tiger, watch the fuck out. He is gunning for your girl. Leave her alone. Shit! Fucking Misty, you started a fucking fire! For fuck's sakes! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god, you're on fire. Misty, you're on fire. You are on fire! Extinguish self! You are literally on fire! Give it a second. No, you're not dead. No, Valerie, give it a second. Valerie! Oh, she's going back to cooking. Well, at least you're using a microwave this time. Girl, you burnt yourself. You need to go to the hospital. Misty, go to the hospital. My back was on fire after my wax. Wait, that was yesterday? Fuck, I missed it. Did you clip it? Do you have the VOD? How did it feel? Did you shave it before you waxed it? And then you broke the fucking microwave. I hate it. This is the bad place. Wow. There's too much going on. I feel like a mess. Where's the child? Oh God, the child is sleeping on the floor. Unhappy. And finally clean. The VOD is there. Okay, I'll definitely check out the VOD. That's crazy. I don't think they'll wax if you just shaved, if I remember correctly. They wanted a week or two work of growth or something. Oh, he had his roommate do it. He had his roommate do it, girl. There's nothing professional about their setup. Oh, Valerie, you make me laugh. Cheers. Cheers. Okay, so Jason's asleep. Misty's feeling scared from the looming dread of being on fire. What is wrong with you, though? You need to, like, change outfit? Let's just put some clothes on you. Hopefully that helps you not look charred. Nope, you're still charred. What do I do? Regain passion. Oh my god, it's almost Lexi's birthday. Lexi! Send me to the shower. That's what I thought you needed to. We could do that. Though, like the hygiene level is all green down here. But yeah, I'll have you to go take a shower. Because it's crazy. You know, can I turn the sensitivity of the camera up a little? Is that an option? Doesn't look like it. Graphics. I see no sensitivity. It moves really slow. Try to pan around the house. Like this. These control keys. I want this to be faster. Fine though. Alright, go take a shower, Misty. Go take a shower. Hopefully that helps. We'll leave you be. Kinda stinks. I switched to camera 3 controls and never looked back. Oh, is that a thing? How do you do that? See camera? Cool. Okay. Maybe that's the problem. Yeah, maybe that's the probs. Yep. Thank you. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you. Cool. Okay. So then, Brian, you're swimming. Oh, you're hungry. Where's our maid? Not maid. Our chef. She's at work. Okay. How about you? You're feeling energized. Watching cooking show for ideas. Okay. How about you just cook for for everybody first? Oh fuck! No, our shit is all fucked. Okay, let me replace all this. Click and hold the mouse wheel to pan. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah. Oh girl, yes. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stop saying screaming yes, or else chat's gonna freak. Okay, so go cook. Serve dinner. Fish tacos. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, he's cooking too. Brian, what are you cooking? Scrambled bacon with eggs. I mean, eggs with bacon. I'm out swimming and everybody else is inside. Yeah, I guess you wanted to have some fun. You had to kick up your fun level. Now you're hungry though, but you are making food for yourself while I have Mercury making food for everybody. Alright, what about Lexi? Lexi's still asleep. Leave her alone. Colma's asleep. Kyle is feeling playful. Whoa, please do not start another fire. For fuck's sakes. Why is everyone watching? What am I fixing? Eggs and bacon. Everyone really is concerned with your with your eggs and bacon. Uh-oh, this is broken too. For fuck's sakes. Repair. I mean, just buy a new one. Fuck it. You're supposed to be cooking. Oh, you're joining cooking. That's why you guys are talking. What about you, Kyle? What the hell are you doing? What are you doing? Get out of the kitchen, man. Go over here. Are they cooking or are they chatting?
Oh, yes.
Bruh. Bruh. Finished cooking! Finally. Damn. Meanwhile, everyone's starving. This is my eggs and bacon. Get the hell away from me. I know, right? I tried to zoom in to see the tattoo. For fuck's sakes. You did. Valerie. This tattoo? That's as close as I can go. You're welcome. Alright, so he's done eating? Oh, okay, yeah. And also you're tired. So let's have you go sleep out in the water. Are you a mermaid? Do you have mermaid form? I think so. Yeah, you do. Well, yeah, we just saw you swimming with the tail. So I could tell you what kind that is just by looking at it. What kind was it? What kind was it? Yo! Finally, our chef is home. Our chef is home and she's sad. Well, why? Gloomy. From being evil? She feels sad from being evil. What? What? Say what? Oops. Okay, so then take a shower. Why are cam controls on the screen? Where? Why are cam controls on the screen? This thing when I that thing? Yeah, it is a tribe on the left. Oh. 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 That should do it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, that's clearer. Cleaner and clearer. Uh-oh, Lexi's awake and angry. Angry baby. Oh, go to bed, Lexi. Literally, go to bed, Lexi. I can't. Oh, there she's going on her own. She's going on her own. Cool, cool. All right, so then Jason, what are you doing? You are eating a fish taco and chatting with Vapin' Satan. Oh fuck, our sink is broken. Vapin' Satan, you're the repairman. So fix that sink now. Is there a radio near the crib? It could keep in waking the baby up. There's one behind the wall. Yeah, there's one behind the wall. Would that ruin it? TV can keep them away too. Oh yeah, the TV. There's definitely a TV in the house. Or in the room. It's the TV. Alright, well. How do we turn this off forever? Turn off. Oh no! No wonder why she's waking up all the fucking time. Time for you to go to sleep. Okay, Misty. Good night. Good night. Make sure you take Lexi to bed with you too. She's sleepy. She's sleepy. Oh no. Go to bed. I heard punching the baby helps make them sleep. Indy! I know you were kidding. I know. Andy, that's wild though, girl. Good night, good night, good night, Missy though. Drink some water before you go to bed. Oh thank God, she's done fussing. Okay, so then what are you doing, Indy? You're feeling confident. Hey, yeah you are. Look at you dancing, man. Okay, so since you're good, look how happy you are right now. Let's have you work on your aspirations. Write 3 comedy routines. Okay, we're almost done with that. Click on a computer and compose. Ah, fuck. Computers are being used. Kyle, what the fuck are you doing? Playing Hillock? And I'm a poison ale. What are you doing? Playing Road Rivals. Okay, she has to go to the bathroom, so she's stopping right now. Let's have you go over here and do comedy and continue composing routine. There you go. Dope, dope. Ah, you're not confident anymore though. Dang, I was hoping we can get you writing while confident. Instead of duct tape them, instead just duct tape them to the walls. I think that would make a child cry more, honestly. I don't think that would put a baby to sleep. But I'm not experienced. Brushing teeth can boost confidence. Can you brush your teeth in this sink? Brush teeth, yep. Let's do it. Oh no! Who turned on the fucking TV? You woke up the baby. For fuck's sakes, turn this shit off. Who did this? Vapin' Satan. For fuck's sakes, Vapin' Satan, you woke up the child. You woke up the child, and you need to go take a shit. So go take a shit instead of waking up my fucking child. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know what? Just for that, I'm gonna have you fix the toilet before you take a shit in it. This is why we can't have nice things. This is why we can't have babies. This is why we can't have babies, Valerie. Ah. Okay, at least they're sleeping. But I can't put the baby upstairs because this is where, like, everybody sleeps. So if baby starts screaming, everybody's gonna wake up. Can't have that now. Can't have that now, you hear? Alright, wait, no, this is Shrimp. Shrimp wants to have some fun. So let's have you, wait, what are you doing? No, leave Lexi alone. Kiss goodnight. Oh, that's cute. Okay. How about you play game of Sims? And Indy, since you're feeling confident now, don't drink coffee after you brushed your teeth, for fuck's sakes. Continue composing your routine. Build a small room outside for you and the baby. I'm thinking about putting 4 walls in this around baby. But she's about to grow up. Her birthday is her birthday is like now. See? In 0 days. In 0 days, she's gonna become a toddler. No more child crying, baby slimy, stinky diapers, cribs. No more. Woo! They grow up so fast. That's what they say, right? Oh, she's sleepy too. Go sleep right next to White Tiger. No, don't turn this fucking shit on. Aw, for fuck's sakes, you woke up Lexi again. Ow! Actually, I am still gonna have to build her a room, aren't I? Because when she turns into a toddler, she still has to sleep somewhere. Because she sleep in our regular beds as a toddler? I wonder if a basement option on the beach. I mean, we can make her just go under there. we could just make it, you know? Looks possible. Specifically or on the floor? Perfect. On the floor it is. Fuck, she still needs to go to sleep. Go back to sleep, go back to sleep. Try to go night-night. Perfect. Can't reach. What the fuck are you reaching for, girl? Go to night-night. Yo, what's up, Big Hug Chris? Yo! That's such a good pickup line. Let's go. Hell yeah, I am. Hell yeah. Yo, welcome in, welcome in. Hell yeah. Toss them in the water and hope they swim to shore. Oh my god. Oh no. And you want to have a baby, White Tiger? And you're asking to have a baby? You're just gonna toss him in the water or tape him to the wall. This is crazy. Look at me, I'm dancing over the hollow. Oh, it disappeared. That's crazy.
Yes.
I know, I'm demented. That's dementia, alright. That's demented, alright. Okay, so what's going on next? Colma, you're feeling happy and sunbathing in current outfit. You literally are wearing pants and a long sleeve with shoes. With a hood. Okay, no, you're not gonna sunbathe in current outfit, for fuck's sakes. What is your aspiration? To maintain focus for 2 straight hours of video gaming. Oh, easy. Maintain focus. How do we make them focused again? Make them focused by drinking coffee. No, that's energized. Chess. Thank you. Play. No, coffee's the exact opposite of it. I want a child. Oh wait, have one. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. No, I got the chess. Telescope, maybe? I don't know if I have a telescope. That reminds me of the story when Kevin Hart's dad threw himself in the water when Kevin kept trying to tell him he couldn't swim. Bro, that's sad. What? That's traumatic. Okay, what's going on? Indy, did you finish doing what you needed to do? For fuck's sakes. Comedy? Oh wait, did you? Yo, you did do it. Dope. Okay, achieve level 6 of comedy skill. Use the microphone, write jokes on the computer. Okay, let's do that. Comedy, write jokes. Gotta work on your skills. No, I didn't finish the job. You did. You wrote 3 comedy routines. And you're still feeling confident, so I'm having you write more jokes, which is gonna increase your comedy skill level. This is your aspiration. I gotta go pee real quick, though. I gotta go tinkle. So, we'll watch what they're doing on the computers. Okay? While I go to the bathroom real quick. BRB.
Hey. Ho ho. Oh. Jaruk. Oh. No.
I'm also gonna go grab a piece of turkey and cheese because I took a med and I want to add some food in with it.
Hey. No. Ah. Simone.
Pinkubu.
Jaruk. Oh. No. Hey. Oh.
I just got some turkey and cheese recently. It's fresh. I didn't poop. I peed. I got turkey and cheese. It was that med I took earlier. I needed to put something in my stomach. I'm so hungry. Go get a little schnick. Get a little schnick. Kyle! I want to play. Kyle's here. Yeah! Welcome in, welcome in. Yo.
Daddy,
no!
Daddy, yes!
Almighty
I'm glad I
underscore
was
white
not
underscore tiger
Kyle.
1984 gifted
glad
a
I
tier
was
1
not
sub
Kyle
to Big
gifting a
Chris
sub.
304.
Thank you, White Tiger. Thank you so much, White Tiger. Let's go. Thank you so much. Enjoy your gifted sub, Big Hall Chris. Thank you so much too, White Tiger. Enjoy your no emotes and all the ads. But yo, Kyle, welcome home. It is Friday tomorrow. It's almost the weekend. It sounded like pooping noises to me. First of all, I muted my mic. Second of all, it was probably The Sims if you heard anything. Let's be real. What was a lizard? If they show this DoorDash commercial one more time, I'm gonna be for real though. Yo, thank you so much, White Tiger. W. W Tiger, did you hear the blurb in Danny's stream? Oh, what have you done? What have you done now? W Tiger, W Tiger. Oh, it's so blurry. There we go. W. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have you saved your game recently? Yeah, I'll do it again though. I saved it when we changed the camera controls.
Oh, Yataboo.
Bruh, Kyle, it's gonna rain so much where I live. Is it snowing for you? Look, I was showing chat this earlier. Look at this shit.
Oh, a nervous babe.
And measured it at work. It's 11 inches.
What? Today, 35% chance. Friday, 95. Saturday, 100. Sunday, 65. Monday, 55. Tuesday, 45. Thursday, 60. And Friday, 65. Hurrah! So I could have rained for like a week straight. Where the fuck do I live? Good lord. I know, right? What is that though? Who said that though? Who is saying that? Who said those inches? Jesus, those are Ohio temps. I know, right? It's like so crazy. I'm very surprised with the weather right now. I keep getting like little pop-ups at the bottom of my screen too that keep notifying me about weather. Wow, it's gonna start storming Thursday. Can't wait. I know, right? It's exciting. It's exciting. I do love the rain too, and it doesn't happen often here either. So, yo, dope, Valerie. We're gonna be storming together. But what's up, Kyle? How was your work day? Yo-oh. Yo-oh. She's stinky again. For fuck's sakes. Okay, Mermaid, why are you feeling tense? Oh, the fire. That's understandable. Alright, go take care of your child. She needs food and a bath. Food.
What? Oh, Hispa.
More choices. Baby care. Give bath. Yo, finally. Oh, she's sleeping though, for fuck's sakes. Wait a second. So, he just picked up this diaper and then put it right back on the floor again. So when they were doing that before, kick? Why can't we throw stuff away? And we had a freezing warning, but it was 85 today. Bless. I told Hodo that my hair was 11 inches. Who was that man? Oh, that was you? You can drag and drop stuff into the bins. Finally! It has not been kicked over, lol. No, she did it. She put that shit away. She put the fucking diaper in the garbage. Which is weird because the other, who did that? It was Colma, I think. He like picked it up and then put it right back down. The fuck? My friend's hair was pretty long. It weighed a lot of pounds. Her username was Rapunzel until COVID. She cut it all off. Wow, that's a lot of hair. Yeah, Rapunzel hair. It is heavy, especially when it's wet. Like if you have thick hair and a lot of it, and then you get it wet. Oh my god, very heavy. The longest my hair has ever been was like probably to my ass crack, and I didn't like it. It was like too long for no reason. I got to the point where I was just like putting it in braids every day, and I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I spending so long detangling it and braiding it and making sure it doesn't get all frizzy and greasy and oily and blah, 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 blah. I have extremely thick and curly hair. It's so heavy and hot. Yeah. Depending on, yeah, exactly. Depending on how, like, much of it and how thick it is and all that, yeah. Definitely makes it heavier. I feel like curlier makes it heavier, too, because if it's curly, then it's like, it looks like it's shorter, but then when you have more of it, it's actually even more hair than it looks because it's curly. That makes sense. You have it in a bun now. See, that's what I kept doing with my hair. It was either in a bun or a braid, and it was never down. So I was like, why am I having to deal with long hair if I never have it showing? Oh. Okay, so, hi Shani, welcome in. How's it going? Oh, geez, my baby is real sad. Oh no, she looks disturbing. Okay, go take care of your child. More choices, baby care, give bath. Why didn't I give the bath before? Uh-oh, Shrimp Jason's on it. Cradle and fit. Stop cradling my dirty child. Let me give her a bath. Oh, you're feeding her too? Well, I guess that was an intent. My hair is probably 7 to 8 inches long. 6'7", 6'7". Dang, yeah, that's long. That's long. Catching up to Indy. Oh, she's filthy. She's dirty. She's dirty. She's dirty. But why isn't Mama doing anything? Mom. More choices. Oh, see, and then baby wake. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Okay, Shrimp Jason. You need to go take a shower. Since you just held my child, you really stink. You know what I kind of noticed though? Every time I want to move something, I do the opposite. So, I'm invert them. Maybe that will help. Okay, so let's have you go take a bath. You already are on it. Let's go. Take a bath. Okay, perfect. Misty, you're happy. Wow, perfect. I'm doing something right. Reach level 3 of Tech Guru career. Join the Tech Guru career. We did that. Get promoted. Okay, so you just have to get promoted and attend work in the career ideal mood. Career's ideal mood. All right, so you start working 18 hours. What's the ideal mood? Daily task, play video games, 50% done. Okay, let's just have you play video games then. What a great daily task. Oh, you already are. Fantastic. All right, cool. Well, you're on it. 6'7". Brian, what's wrong? Feeling tense? Needed to do the dishes? How are your needs? Your needs are good though. You want to be disliked by 2 Sims? Where is your wifey? Can you go have fun with wifey? Oh no, she gaming. She locked in gaming right now. Who can you be disliked by? Dr. Colma and Shrimp Jason have the lowest. Okay, so go be mean to Colma. I mean, go be mean to Shrimp. Mean. Arguments. Yell at. And then more choices. Mean. Malicious. Insult. Yikes. Fight. Brag about baby. Brag about baby? How does something like 6'7" just spread like wildfire? Hell the fuck if I know. So did Lizard, but I guess that was more... I don't know. I don't know, man. That is a weird looking baby. Thankfully, it's not a baby. Imagine if Colma was facing the other way. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Colma, get out of there. You're gonna get lost in the fight.
Rogue Nubu. Shoeba. Oh, yipsy. Choff, thou busy. Then Copa and Trebe. Circa.
Yo, they fighting. They in the scruff. Oh shit, who gonna win? Who gonna win? Wait a second, a rowdy crowd? Indy knew it wasn't a great idea to start his comedy so late. The crowd is getting rowdy, and he's losing control so fast. This is a different kind of rowdy. He can either yell at them to get their attention or give up and shut it down. Now, we're gonna have Indy yell at them, right? Is that what you want, Indy? Who's fighting? Who was that? It's you, White Tiger, and Shrimp Jason. It's you and Shrimp Jason. And Indy, we were dealing with a whole other thing right now. Do you want to yell at the crowd to get their attention, or do you want to shut it down? Bring out the Hulk. Yell. All right, so that's a whole nother thing. You did it. The crowd even snaps. Hold on, I gotta press pause on this fight. Indy, you did it. The crowd snaps the attention, even laughs, inspiring Indy to deliver one of the best performances yet. It was a small performance gain, but GG's. Yelling at the crowd was a good way to go. All right, for fuck's sakes. You're feeling happy about fighting right now? This is crazy. He's feeling angry. What was that?
Squaws, Nelcher.
Days. Oh no! He got beaten up. Shrimp Jason got beaten up. You're feeling confident, White Tiger. Now you're chatting and you're trying to make things better. No. You have to keep going. You have to keep going. Declare enemy. That's what I needed. That's what we needed.
Muscat Treeb. Yaflababgor.
Oh wait, no, we actually don't need that.
No.
I actually didn't need that. Uh-oh, well, whatever. You guys are enemies now. Okay, we just needed you to do, we already completed what we needed. We completed what we needed. Success! 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 Mermaid, are you and your wallet ready for Saturday? No, actually. As a matter of fact, we are not ready for Saturday. Oh, but I need it. I need it. I have to get it. I have to be first in line. I can't let it sell out. I will cry if I get it, if it's sold out. Get your wish list ready. There's nothing else I want. I'm going to put that into my cart and check out. I'm going to put that in my cart and check out. There's nothing else. Oh, though, what I am going to do is, I'm going to put it on my, I got a Stream credit card. I'm going to put it on my Stream credit card. It's going to be my very first purchase on my Stream credit card. Wow, what? Huh? Did I win that fight? You did. You did win that fight. You're feeling confident and triumphant. That's such a good idea. Yeah. What time does it go live? Like 8:30 in the morning. In 40 hours. In 40 hours, Kyle. Is that specific enough? Oh, Valerie, is your wallet ready, Valerie? Can I link the YouTube live? Yeah, go for it. It's already up and filling up. Is it? Oh my God. Oh no. You ready? Yeah, we have to get it. We have to be first in line. Holy shit. People are already there and it's 40 hours. Live in 40 hours. I like her new red hair. Red highlights.
Oh, Pandola.
Wow. I feel like screaming, take my money! Ah! People are going crazy! I can't wait to get my hands on this. They will be sold out by then, right?
Marco Fino.
Who else is excited? You look like Jovi from the movie Elf. Please hurry. 2 days left. Oh my God, can't wait. Literally, everybody's freaking out. Everybody's freaking out. Oh shit. Oh shit. Inhale, exhale, deep breathing. It'll be sold out in minutes. Minutes. It won't last an hour. It will not last an hour. 10 a.m. for me, fortunately, but I'll be up at 6 realistically. Fair. Fair, yeah. It's like 8:30 for me. Frick. Yeah. Godspeed to you, Valerie. Godspeed to you. Who is Miss Thickmas? And can I get her number? Excuse me? The girl in the link that we just posted? Yeah. Unfortunately, she has her eyes set on someone for a very, very, very long time. They're basically married, but not by law. It's Christmas for us girlies. Lol. It is. We need it. It's Christmas for everybody, but especially Paulo Taco. No, the girlie in the Sims in the bikini. Oh. Either of these two. Well, this is Jessica, the one with the mesh top, and then this is Merkitty, the one with the non-mesh top. Merkitty, her stream handle is Merkitty. May there be something, there may be something else part of it. And then Jessica is, you know, Jessica. Chaz popping off and Simply Not Logical. That's what I was saying, Kyle. It's like 40 hours. Where's my sim? Can you have them date? Well, see, the thing is where were you when we were making sims? You could absolutely have a sim, but where were you? Look, we made everybody specific to how they wanted. This is how Jason wanted to look. Why are you sleeping with your eyes open? That's really quite fucking freaky. Why? This is how everybody wanted to look. And then we also had them take like little quizzes and it decided their personalities. Bruh, everybody took quizzes and it decided their aspirations and stuff and personalities. My aspiration from my quiz was to have a big family, to have children. What? Huh? Me? No. Okay, Merkitty, it begins. Nothing beats the feeling of crushing that final boss level. Yes. Whenever Merkitty is gaming, Merkitty is the one who likes the universe. Is it safe to say she likes gaming? Duh. Enjoy your lurk. Thank you for lurking. Enjoy your dinner. I get there early because my notifications are not reliable. I miss out on notifications because I forgot to set alarms. Yep, 100%. You have to set the alarm. 100% you have to set the alarm. Yeah. When it's a big release like this, no doubt. When it's the first thing of its kind, no doubt an alarm is necessary. It's sad because I kind of wish that it wasn't like that, you know? I wish they were able to have enough quantity and enough stock. That's what, 5 a.m. California time? No, it's 8:30 California time. No, it's 8:30 my time. Yeah. Her live will be at 8, but then the thing won't go live until 8:30. 30 minutes after. Sheesh, I gotta get my hands on it. Oh snap, Alexia is celebrating her birthday and she looks like shit. Oh god, this poor child. I've been such a bad mom in this game. Look at her. Look at her. Her diamond is red, which means unhappy. She is covered in filth, all brown poo. And then this green stinky smoke coming off. Literally child neglect. I've neglected my child throughout this entire aging process. She needs a lot of things. She needs a whole new mom. She needs a lot of stuff, and I'm not one of them. That's so fucked. Dude, I don't like it. I don't like it. So why does that have to be my responsibility? Why do I have to have a big mom? A big dad? Why? Why do I have to be a mom? Feeling flirty, eating cereal. Uh-oh, baby's awake. Okay, so since she needs stuff, what do you need? Hygiene, energy, and fun. Hygiene. Clearly. Give a bubble bath. Give a bubble bath. Please give your child a bubble bath. A bubble bath. A bubble bath. A bubble bath. Hurry up. Hurry up. Oh, Jesus. Hey, yo, though. Okay, wait a second. I could work with this. Dope. Dope. Sentiment game. I'm glad I don't think my llama jokes are getting old. Oh, Merkitty and Del Mar are getting along. Oh, no. Merkitty and White Tiger. Oh, that's cool. Wow. Mash. Finally, she's giving her baby a bath. She, aka me. Indy, what are you doing? Just fix it. Just fix it. And pee like a champion. Indy, I can make you pee like a champion because you're feeling confident. Wow. Oh, I like that for you, Indy. You want to screenshot that, Indy? Feeling like a champion. After you're done fixing the sink.
And measured it at work. It's 11 inches.
That's your voice? You said, imagine it didn't work. It's 11 inches? Bro, that's wild, indeed. Pee like a champion. Oh, that's it? It was just a little bit. You just peed like faster than me. I measured it at work. What? You measured Indy's? At work?
Gibbs.
What? Shrimp Jason, you are hungry and that is being taken care of. He says I measured it. Oh, he says I measured it at work. Oh, thank you for clarifying. Thank you for clarifying that. You measured your hair at work, bless, and that it was 11 inches. I measured it at work. It's 11 inches. Wow. Wow. Yeah, definitely out of context. You know, could have measured anything at work. Hair on your head would be the last thing I would think. 11 inches is a lot. At least everybody has food now. Except you're not hungry, you're mopping. Craft an object on the woodworking table and achieve a level skill of logic 6. Okay, so then let's do play. Chess. Out of context is how I roll. I know. Not me, I just jumped into the water. Yeah, I saw that. Oh no, she's feeling sad. What are you doing? Watch romance? Bless. Level 8 of culinary career. Level 5 gourmet cooking skill. Oh, we're almost there. And then cook 3 gourmet dishes at a single event. Let's do the gourmet cooking skill. Let's see. Cook gourmet meal. We will do herb crusted salmon with party size. Party size. Okay. Jason, can you clean this trash up, please? Okay, I guess you're going to sleep. Never mind. What are you done with baby? Are you done with the child? Child needs to go sleeping. So let's put child in crib. I thought she was supposed to age. Maybe after she wakes up on this day. At least we made her happy before she ages, you know? Okay, so at least she's clean now and not hungry, and she's just tired, so now you can go to sleep. Go to sleep. Alright, I'm also tired too. Oh, I'm gonna go to bed. Unless dinner's ready. Dinner ready? Yeah. Grab a serving. Let's go. Who needs to eat? Food's ready. Oh, here we go. You guys are dancing and chatting together. Oh, perfect. This is the time. This is the time. Heartfelt compliment. Here we go. No, don't go eat food. Go talk to your wife. Ask about woohoo interests. Here you go. Here you go, White Tiger. Ask about woohoo interests. That's right. That's right. Hey, Jessica, get out of the way.
Oh, that's all. Sawada baby. Emka Harp Dolphus. Saboma Nukem. Bebois.
Wait, no, Misty. No. Misty. Back. Has to be woohoo partners. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Has to be woohoo partners. It's happening, it's happening, it's happening.
And Zerpa.
Ah, Yibs. Sawada Beamy.
I think it worked. I think it worked. It did. Yes. Let's go. Yo, confess attraction. Physical intimacy.
Oh, yeah.
Hold hands.
Kunada.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Went down. Uh-oh, it's going down. Uh-oh. What's wrong? Uh-oh. Okay, we'll just let him be for a second.
Lumbek. Warno Ooks.
Oh, she's kind of tired. Oh, he's tired.
Vula Shaka.
Okay. Well, let's figure their health out. They both wanted to eat, so let's do that. Grab a serving. He's already eating. She is focused. How is her skill coming along? It's almost at a level 5. Almost at a level 5. Okay, she can keep going. She doesn't need to be that bad yet. Confident? Ooh, if you're feeling confident, let's have you make another gourmet meal. Gourmet meal. We'll do this time a sweet fruit cake. And gourmet cooking skill. Where is that? Gourmet cooking. Ooh, it's almost at a level 5 too. Dope, 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 dope. Back with pasta. Did I miss anything good? Yeah. White Tiger and Misty. What did they do? Asked to be girlfriend and boyfriend. Asked Misty to be girlfriend. Yeah. They're together officially. Romantic interest. And it said like ask woohoo interests or ask woohooing preferences or whatever. Yeah. So they're getting good. They're getting up there. I don't want to do too much without Misty here, but yeah, they're getting up there. Sleep. And then let's also have you, we finally have you sleep. Oh, look, it's an option. It's an option now, it's an option now, it's an option now to have sex. It's an option now to have sex. It's an option now to have sex. But you know what? It's always been an option. We just will remain pure. Yep. Remain pure, everybody. Okay, fuck. She's really gotta pee now. She's really gotta pee now. Ah, shit. They fucking. You know what? I have to go pee now. Again? Didn't I just go pee like 20 minutes ago? 20 minutes ago. Also, speaking of 20, it'll be 4:20 in 10 minutes. So I'm also gonna refill my little bubbler as well. Let's take a look at what is going on with, we will spy in on Indy. We're spying in on Indy. I'll be right back.
Children. Hey.
Oh, Shubarao. Oh, Singula.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you.
No.
Ugh, pan-faced Torb.
Riba, ukinikansum. Prumbea hupitu.
Oh. Indy has fallen asleep. At least he's happy. I'm back. Thank you guys for being here. The Walmart app had eggnog available for purchase. I bought some eggnog. It's been like a fucking whole year. Wow. So I want to do a poll. Do you guys like eggnog? Do you like eggnog? Okay, but I'm going to give you a few options, right? Because I feel like people could be very iffy about eggnog, right? So I'm going to say, first and foremost, love it, okay? Second is going to be tried once, didn't like, okay? Hate it, it's going to be like many tries, okay? You've tried it, different brands, with alcohol, non-alcoholic, and no matter what, you still hate it. Or just like I said, the one tried it once and you were like, nah, it's not for me, I'm never gonna try it ever again, and it's just the one time when I was 5. You know what I mean? That you click that as an option. Or never had it. Okay? Those are the 4 options. How about only in a drink? Huh? What is that? Eggnog is a drink. I'd rather bang Gilbert Grape's mom than drink eggnog. Who the fuck is Gilbert Grapes? Indy hates eggnog. Deftones hates eggnog. Kyle loves eggnog. Amy loves eggnog. Valerie likes it in small quantities. Amy voted. Thank you, Amy. Let's go. Vote in the poll. Vote in the poll. There's a poll. There's a poll. There's a poll. There's a poll. Because I feel like you guys were saying love it, hate it, love it, hate it. But like the people who say hate it, did you just try it once? Or have you tried it many times? I want to know. Tried it once or many times? Alcoholic drink. You only like it with alcohol in it? I think that would be considered love it. I've tried it several times and you hate it. So then, yeah, it would be the hate it. You would click hate it many tries. Okay, anyways, where did it go? Jessica can't find the soil testing kit anywhere. She could have sworn it was where she left it. Could it be sabotage? After looking for hours, Jessica's running out of time. She needs to run samples for her boss is looking for it. Should she fudge the tester fess up? What do we think she would do? I feel like Jessica would, what do we think Jessica would do? I almost feel like I need to go get a jacket, guys. It's cold. First one to put it in chat. I can't decide. I don't hate it or like it, but this time of year, have a drink or two with it, and that's enough for the year. Yeah. So then you would put love it. I hate eggnog. I hate eggs. I hate nog. Why are you so hateful? Mess up. Jessica is very frustrated at the loss of the equipment. These things are not cheap. Jessica received a brutal scolding from the boss and probably be less likely to trust her with important things from now on. It's a large performance loss. That was really bad. Nope, you can't do that. I hate it here. I only can. You hate yourself? What? He's not an egg. He's not a nog. I need a jacket. No. No, I hate the word jacket now. You know what? I have a better idea. Does someone have a Yoda to redeem? Let me see. Formerly known as Chris. Formerly known as Chris. Formerly known as Chris. Can I redeem the Yoda instead of a jacket? Hi, I need your help. Yo, what's up, Jan? How can we help you? How can we help? How can we be of assistance to you today?
Nuba.
Merry Christmas! Dinner was full!
Goodness. I don't know what length playing Sims 4 short or long. What is better for you? Yeah, it's really a personal thing. I play one time on short, but it's too short. I'm not, are you talking about the day lengths? When you go into game options and you go to this? You're talking about short is too short? Okay, try, mine's set at, default. No, lifespan? Oh, lifespan. Oh. There are little, like, hacks and stuff that you can download. Valerie knows all about that. Little things that you could download to extend their life, I'm pretty sure. Like, type into YouTube the problem that you're having, and there'll be some guides on how to extend their life. I'm sure of it. Thank you so much, Chris, formerly known as Chris, for the Yoda onesie redeem. Wow, it's 420 fast. Do you like eggnog? Keep voting in the poll, guys. Love it. Has 4 votes. Tried it once. Didn't like it. Has 2 votes. Hate it. Tried many times. Has 0. And never had it. Has 0. Eggy noggy. Eggy noggy. We have bills in our mailbox. And Indy has the best, the absolute best tan line. You play along because I'm doing challenges. And I hate feeling rushed. I get attached to my Sims and hate when they die. That's so sweet and wholesome, Valerie. Jeez. How you feeling there, Night? How was the night tonight? All right, so how is everyone in chat? I mean, in like the chat Sims feeling? Okay, where's Lexi? Where are you? Oh, fuck, you're asleep in your high chair. Oh, you're crying. Oh, this is so bad. Oh my god. Valerie, have you ever seen a child do this in The Sims? This feels like a new one. That baby's gonna get taken away, lol. Could that happen? Not one of mine, but yes. You've seen a baby do this, just not one of your babies. This is sad. They could get taken away. For fuck's sakes. Alright, so Vapin Saban's asleep. He's feeling confident. How about you go confidently take
My child. What's wrong with her? She's hungry and needs to pee and is tired. So let's give her some food. More choices. Actions. Open profile? No, that's not what I want. Oh, maybe I have to click on the tray. Here we go. Explore food. Here we go. She dislikes hummus, and she's never tried anything else.
Never fed her. She's only had hummus in her entire life. I mean, it's not
a bad thing to have, really.
Ben would approve. I mean, hummus is great though. It is. That's fucking funny. I watch it. That's so fucked up, Valerie. I watch a lot of Sim streamers do 100 baby challenges. The babies don't often thrive. It's so fucked up. Oh man, 100 baby challenge.
That's so crazy. Imagine us trying that? No way. Really? You could put a plate of food on the ground and the toddler can feed itself, for fuck's sakes. Really? I could have been doing that this whole time? Look, but every time I click on do something with the child, like, they don't. Like, I had Indy try to go feed her, and then, like, we literally, what is he doing? He canceled it out and decided to go sunbathing instead. I'm pretty sure I told you. Well, like, why don't people just do what they would, like, feed her, for fuck's sakes? I clicked explore food in high chair. Sweet potatoes. Because Sims. See, look, he's just like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. Give her some fucking food, for fuck's sakes. Finally. Oh, finally, she's eating. Get your ass out of the way, Kyle. I was watching her. Alright, I'll watch your ass, that's fine. She's sad? Maybe if Kyle did something. Kyle, make her happy! Like a life simulation game. Some things don't work for some things. Sometimes some things don't work for no reason. Yeah, and it is a life simulation game. You could tell your Sims to do something, but it's not necessarily, they're not necessarily gonna do it. You know? Just like life. You have intentions to do something, but then you just don't. Breastfeed? Wait a second. Hold up. Shrimp Jason can breastfeed my child? Hold up. A real life? Is a simulation? Yeah.
Oh, smishy.
No, the option was breastfeed. Okay, how about give bubble bath? Also that. Yeah. Definitely that. I feel like we should probably play the music like really low in the background. Can you hear it?
Wow, Sparcy. Gotta boo.
There. Mostly baby. Oh no. Oh no. Why didn't you go take her to the freaking bath? Ugh. Children are such hard work. Why? Why? I literally clicked to feed her, no one does it. And literally click to go give her a bath, and no one does it. Look, it just puts her down. Go give her a fucking bath. Jesus, Jesus, go. Okay, good. I think she's going. I think she's finally going. All right, FFS. All right, so next. I need to figure out food for everybody. What is this? Or maybe not. Everybody seems fine. Jessica is tense, but she's eating gourmet food. Where are you? Okay, you're eating it now. Got it. Okay. Dr. Colma, feeling confident? Watching the news? Okay, if you're feeling confident, let's have you do your aspiration, which is make a video game or app. Do that. More choices. Oh my god, our bills are... we almost don't even have enough. Relatable. So relatable. More choices. Web? Nope, not that. Program, there we go. Make plugin, mod game. No, I needed to make a video game or app. Career? Oh.
Oh. Yes.
Practice programming. Make a plugin. Hack? No. It's weird. I don't have the option to create a game or an app. I used to. Is it because of his career level? No, he's a tech guru. Though it was, I'm not sure. You gotta earn simoleons. I know. We just got robbed by our bills. We just got robbed by our bills, man. Oh. Oh. Oh, is baby finally happy? Not really. She's sleeping though. Alright, what about Mama? Mom, you don't even need to be sleeping right now. You can continue though. Misty is needing to take a shower and eat. So how about we just wash hands and grab a piece of this fruitcake. Misty's walking like a freak. She's so silly. Oh, fuck. She fell asleep in the bathtub. Oh my god, that's so dangerous. Bruh. Why is it blurring her out, too? She fell asleep in the bathtub! Cute, actually, like, not, though. How about you go pee? Get out and go pee. Feeling focused after that. Nice. All right, so you're feeling focused. Go pee. I want you to work on your logic, but you're hungry. I just gotta have you eat real quick. Eat the fruitcake. Was Wifey walking like she was an MJ Thriller? Yeah. Yeah, she was. Nope, there she go again. All right, and then after you eat that, do some logic stuff. Play. I love the creeper walk. It's perfect for Misty. It literally is spot on.
Oh, one genie.
Spot on.
Ooh, you. Oh, Yarpanoosh.
So it is under the program category.
Oh, one genie.
I guess he just has to keep practicing programming. Feeling tense. Normally I would have Mermaid take care of the child right now because she's feeling great. The child's sleeping. So I feel like I should just leave her alone. What are you doing? You're gonna go dancing? Alright, go dancing. Go dancing. Jessica's sleeping. Mercury's doing that. My tiger's sleeping. Oh, she's feeling playful. Let's have her... She needs to reach the next level in her career. And she needs to do her task of playing video games. So let's have her do that. Play games. Ooh. Ooh, let's do enter game tournament. I've never seen this as an option. Ooh, we can make money from the tournament? Dude, yo. Alright, let's try the lowest tournament first. That might help feeding and changing. I don't know, probably. She has she worked in her parenting skill? Worked on her parenting skill? Probably not. Well, it says check on infant, so maybe. She's probably hungry, so let's... feed. I want to see the new Michael Jackson movie coming out. There's a new Michael Jackson movie coming out? What is it? What? explore some foods in high chair, please. Yo, we got some money. Apparently it does. You could build the skill on the computer or reading parenting books. Oh. I didn't know that. Wait, why are you putting her down? Oh, unsure about sweet potato puree. Interesting. Okay, let's try oatmeal cereal. I thought she was supposed to age up. Oh, maybe I have to give her a birthday. Yeah, I do. Perform, yeah, I do. I have to give her candles, make a wish, or taste frosting to age her up. That's cute. She has to taste the frosting. Well, she's tasting oatmeal. Before I age her up, I kind of want to have her try all the foods. I kind of want to see, like, give her, see what she likes. I should have been doing that this whole time, but Lexi is unsure about oatmeal. Maybe this food will need to be explored again. Again? Bruh. I just want to know.
Just as soon.
How about smashed lemon? Eat the smashed lemon, child. Tell me if you like it. I guess where he started from and how he became the king of pop. Oh, so like a little docu-series. Oh, here we go! Yo, there we go! Oh, here, finally. Why is it cut off at the top, though? It's cut off for you and me. You and me. Oops. Now I really did it. Now I really fucked it up. Okay, I fixed it. Select a trait to replace the infant trait. Lexi has earned a bonus trait. See all of her traits in the Simology panel. Toddlers days spent playing with toys and exploring the world and learning about the communication of the world instead of tears. Oh wait, this is the perfect time to start skill building for the future. Dope. Okay, so let's do a random trait. Ready? The first random trait Lexi gets is Inquisitive, curious explorers. These toddlers gain thinking skill highly faster. They're happiest when learning something and sad if they haven't learned anything lately. Okay, cool. Let's go. Yo, look at you. Why is she still crying though? Oh my God, she's gonna love her outfit. Girl, she's gonna love her outfit. It's like the automatic outfit. We didn't even choose that. She's gonna love it. Oh, she's learning to walk. Yo, she's so cute. Why is she crying? She's very sad. It's your birthday, though. She didn't have a birthday party. Oh. Why is she looking at me? Not even cake. I'm such a bad mom. I assume your heat is on, yes? Nope, haven't come turn the heat on yet. Grab food for Lexi. No, there's nothing. I don't have any food for. I don't have any anything like cake for Lexi. You have to bake it. a cake, but it's not called birthday cake. Is it supposed to be called birthday cake? I just see cakes. Nope. It doesn't have to be birthday cake? Okay. I'm making a cake right now. Chocolate cake. Okay. Mama's making a cake. Mama's making a cake. Don't worry. Don't worry, everybody. Don't panic. You can add birthday candles to any cake. Dope. It all happened so fast. Oh, I wouldn't because it'll age her up again. Oh, fuck. Well, at least we'll have the cake. Just give her a slice. Okay, at least we'll have the cake. Fuck. Sorry, Legacy. I'm a first-time mom. I didn't know. I didn't know we needed cake for your birthday. Wow. And some toys. Okay, yeah, toys. Grab serving for Lexi. There we go. Grab serving for Lexi. Look, she's getting woken up for cake. That's the best thing to get woken up to. Cake. Said, eat it off the floor, child. Where is it? Oh. She had to go to that chair to have it. She had to go to this chair to eat it. Oh. That's so sad. She's crying while eating her cake. Lecture her behavior. Funny. Stories. Friendly. Activities. Play. There we go. Play. Lecture her behaviors. I didn't click it. I didn't click it. Scold. Play. Play. Play with your child. Finally. Whoa. Oh. Very angry. Oh no.
Malfoy.
Whoa. That looks dangerous. Don't shake a child upside down. Huh? You're totally bad. I know. Oops. She gonna die. She gonna die, man. She gonna die. Well. Okay. Woo. So let's go ahead and sell her crib. And let's sell her baby stuff too, because this is just all baby stuff. She's not a baby anymore. Baby. We're back to normal stuff. Okay. First, I'm gonna put our seat back over here. How do I rotate this thing again? Okay. Yeah, thank you. And then I'm gonna go upstairs and let's try to figure out, oops, a house. I mean, a room for her. What the heck? What do we do? What is this gray spot? Oh. take? Cake is ass. It is true. Cake is ass. Ass is cake. I actually don't like frosting. I don't like frosting, and cake without frosting is just stupid and boring. So I don't like cake. I don't like cake. I don't know what to say. Shit. Pause. Okay. Build mode. Go back upstairs. Where's the best spot for her bed? I'm thinking we get this we put this downstairs. And then we'll put a bed over here in the corner. Y'all are nuts. No, I don't like it. I never did like it. Toddler. More cake for me. Yeah, you can have my cake. Toddler bed. Lexi, I wish you were here to choose your toddler bed. I think you probably like this one in pink, or any of them in pink. Oh, we chose this one last time. I remember. It's not gonna work right here, is it? Move this. Then thank you for the hydration and the stretch. I'm scared to fall back in my chair sometimes. Oh my god. Oh yeah. Oh, you guys are all so sweet, giving each other hugs. Hugs and bugs and rugs. Okay, so what we want to give her some we want to give her some decor. I'm gonna put the walls up. There we go. And then I'm gonna go back to toddler. And then I liked these balloons, but I wanted to do those balloons. Cute. Okay. A dream eater. Open-hearted princess. Color theory. I did like this. We'll go, ooh, black and pink. We'll do that one. She's an adult now. She liked the duckies. I'll go with a pink ducky on the floor. Wait, can I put a, this maybe? Too big. The ducky.
Ashley, Stest over here. It's good old Jack Sparrow, the captain, but you're the meanier of the me-made crew. Happy Mumsgiving, Mumsman?
Happy Thursday. Oh, Mermsgiving. Merms. Cheers. Yes, all of those. All of those. Not just Thursday, but all of those. Let's give her an iPad. How about that? This is from Kyle. Here you go, child. I got you an iPad. All right, dope. Happy birthday. Happy heckin' birthday. All right, go to bed now, child. Go the fuck to sleep. Sleep. Nighty night? What is that? Sleep. Unless I can click like put her to bed, something cuter maybe. Yell. Put to bed. There we go. Or they're just frozen.
Joe Baba Exanoy? Yes, look what.
There we go.
Salam BC.
I'm like, are you not gonna go to bed properly? Go to bed. Jesus. Finally. Wow, that took forever to put her to sleep. She's still crying. She is still crying while she's asleep. Did she grow? Oh, yeah, she grew up, but she's still crying. Did anyone die? No, not yet. Not yet. Thank God. It's a lot of work taking care of you guys. It's a lot of work. This is a lot of work. Okay. So, Shrimp Jason, sleeping. Misty, you need to go to sleep. Oh, let me put the walls back. Is this bed open? Yeah, sleep. You're doing great. Sims babies are hard. They are. It's a lot. I didn't expect it. Plus, we just have a lot of characters too, you know? It's a lot. Okay, so she is eating a slice of cake. Good. You're chatting with Kyle. Okay. You also are hungry and tired. Oh shit, things are broken in our kitchen. Indeed. Mom. Look at the bright side. Cleaning frenzy. Yo, dope. Innie's going on a cleaning frenzy. That's exactly what we need. Oh, yo, so is White Tiger. Look at, thank you, White Tiger, cleaning up all the dirty dishes. Dope. Dope. Spend satisfaction points. What's that? Sleeping, sleeping. Eating a slice
The
of cake.
chat gremlins have taken over the stream. Please embrace the chaos. Accept all biddies and subs. It's just going to happen.
Bless.
Deal with it.
Deal with it. I got them rippers. Oh. Who did that? Air Knight. Hey, money. That's wild.
Zuki. Sure to blue. Rena died.
Yips.
Buddha.
Bon and Gravy? Oh, yips. Oh, Illinois.
So tasty, you will be diabetic. That's what they say about my pussy. Damn! Is it just me or can you hear the like bad like connection? Cheers. Click on your rewards. I don't even know where that is. Oh. Bottom right. Oh. Oh. I don't want any of this stuff. You're like, what the? I don't need any of this stuff. Focused would be kind of cool though. We'll do focused. Okay, since we at least have to buy something. Okay. Achieve level 6 logic. But wait, what's your problem? You need to go to bed. Okay, here we go. Bed's open. Really wish babies could learn them and never need to be bathed again. Yeah. That would be brilliant. Yeah. Sleeping, sleeping, sleeping. Sleeping. How about, you're also hungry though, so how about you make everybody food? That was weird. That was weird. Oh, bunk beds might free up some space if you're open to that. True. True, true, true. And it would allow a lot more beds. Well, double the beds. But yeah. Everyone's sleeping in the beds at the moment, but yeah, we could. SimCity cheesecake? No, we need breakfast. It is 7 a.m. So I think we'll do gourmet spinach frittata, party size. Whoa, Indy! Just going around. You need to go to bed. Yeah, the beds are full. Are you a mermaid? No. You need to replace the shower, apparently. See if Vape and Satan can repair it. So much room for activities, barely. Barely. Think of all this, all the things we could do. Do we just become best friends?
Gotta get. Gotta get. Gotta get. Gotta get.
Yo, that's a jam. Yo, that's a jam. That must have been fun making that song too, huh? For them. Oh, we do have a space open now. Yo, dope. Okay, go to sleep. How are you feeling energized, but need to go to sleep? Okay, what about you, Brian? Use a computer to cause mischief 3 times. For real? Okay. More choices. Socialize. Send chain letter or troll. Troll the forums. Troll the forums. That is what you're doing right now. Dr. Colma. Sleeping? Oh no, you're over here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. this one too. Oh my god, all of our toilets are broken. Oh shit. Mermaid's off to work and there's no food. Okay, you need to go to sleep now. Mermaid left us to starve. No, there's food. There's food. I meant like it was like she didn't get any. She didn't get any before she left. See, there's food on the table here. There's food over here. It's actually gourmet level too. See, excellent quality. Pea brush never hurts. Oh, what? A pea brush? I have questions. Ash, you know what Mermaid and The Price and Right have in common? Bush. Oh, no, bush. Oh, pea bush never hurts. Oh. I can't read. I can't read. A pea bush never breaks. True, we need that. Yo, Erna, thank you so much for spinning the wheel. Nice. Did you just get a new bit badge too? No, maybe not. Yo, a THC got me. Dope. They've got him right here. I got him right here. Thank you for spoiling me. Shell yeah. Shell yeah. Boom, baby. Aeronite. Dope. Cheers. Happy 420.
No, God!
You're welcome.
No, God, please, no! No! No!
Why no?
No!
That's just THC. Okay, so Kyle, you need to go to bed. Kyle, go to bed. Uh-oh. All taken up. I'm gonna eat a not Skittle that is definitely not a Skittle, okay? Yeah, eat those not Skittles. Is it red or is it green? Because there's only 2 colors on those not Skittles. Which one's bigger than the other on those 2 not Skittles? Since they're not Skittles, they're different sizes in those not Skittles. Okay, you're done sleeping and so you're hungry. So go eat this food over here. Eat. Definitely not a Skittle. Proceed with fun. Exactly. Definitely not. Definitely not. I'm spoiled. I got red, orange, and green. Oh, both? Yo, my Amazon package delivered, and it's probably on my porch, and it probably has my heating pad in it. I'm probably gonna go get that right now, because I probably have to sit here for another hour. They're squished. Oh yeah, that's right. The red.
Run.
The red are rounder. Okay, I'll be right back.
Run.
Go to work. Okay. Watch Kyle. What's Kyle doing? Oh fuck. Doctor notices that coworker hasn't induced a huge bug. Does he tell their future producer keep it quiet? No, tell him. Turn him in. Praises are rare around here, but Doctor has earned a feather in his cap, at least from his producer. The coworker, on the other hand, yells at Doctor for making him look bad, then falls into a rather vengeful silence. A small performance game. Okay. Fuck. Where are you, Kyle? What are you doing? Oh, you're washing your hands? You're cleaning? You have an incoming text message? Oh, Nolly Mahali would like to come over and hang out. Is that okay? Do you want to hang out with Nolly Mahali? Is this a yes, Kyle? Let me get my package. Sure, I heard she has weed. Let's go. Oh, wow, Kyle. Woo! Look at what you're doing. Holly Mahali. Hot tamale, Tolly Mahali. Holly Mahali.
Why make Farouk? Shaylee.
Feeding cat.
Yeah.
Feeding cat.
Chilo Lipka.
Oh, yeah, chat. It's a good one. It's a good one. Whoa! You look at you. Either you're showing off, or she's showing you how. Vaping Satan is sweaty and miserable. Is this a sign he dislikes penis? No. A new heating pad. Yeah, girl. The heating pad that I have, it doesn't hold a charge anymore. And when I would plug it in to charge it, the charging port on it would get so too hot to the touch. I couldn't touch the charger anymore, and it wouldn't hold a charge. It was so bad. And it was also the size of my two hands. It was that big. It's so small. So this one, wait till you fucking see this. A heating pad with a charge? Yeah. So I don't have to be hooked up to the wall. Yeah, definitely time to replace. It is literally like a fire hazard. I was afraid it was gonna blow up. I was like, is this thing gonna explode? Wow. VIP club. Let's go. Okay. Wow. Get Logic. Hi, Get Logic. Welcome in. That has a baby. Thank you for the wait. Hold on. Thank you for the 20-day, 20 stream streak. 20 days is a lot.
Daddy, no!
Daddy, yes!
Kyle McGrath 40 gifted a tier 1 sub to Killogic.
Yo, Kyle, thank you so much for gifting that sub to Killogic. Killogic, let's freaking go. Keeping my mud subbed. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. Enjoy that sub, Killogic. And let me get your name on our star. The name of this brand is called, where's the box? This. K-Y-L-E. Kyle! Kyle McGrath. Oh. Kyle McGrath. Thank you. Yeah, so this why I wanted this heating pad is because a lot of the times when I have cramps or anything like that, I have cramps in the front, in my lower abdomen, and I have cramps in my back, in my larger in the back. So it's like a, can't read it here. It's like a it's a dual thing. It's called I Keep Fit. That's the brand. I keep fit. A heated waist. Oh, I didn't even know it was a massager. I just wanted the warm back and abdomen concurrently. Back and abdomen concurrently. Please, please, please. And like even sometimes my hips hurt. It's just a living large. It's such a life improvement. You have no idea. You have no idea how this is such a quality of life improvement right here. It's fucking massive though. I didn't want it to massage me. That's extra what do you call that? Parts inside of here that I don't want, that I don't need. I get nauseous. For what? I hope it helps. I hope it helps too. Alright, let's try it. Okay, there's just a bunch of shit that it comes with. Okay, without all that, it's not too bad, actually. Weird, though. It's leather. Weird leather. Turn it on. Whoa, it's vibrating. It's vibrating. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, stop vibrating. Stop it! Stop! Okay, stop vibrating. I didn't want a fucking sex toy. The fuck? Okay, so then let's try this out, chat. Let's try this out. So this goes on the back. Bruh, this is what happens when you're old. And then this wraps around in the front. Oh, this is gonna be nice though. Okay. Okay, so there's some buttons on there. Okay. I'll let you know how it is in a few seconds. That sounds like heaven. My ex begged me to massage her abdomen when Aunt Flo arrived. Damn. Damn.
Hello, Gwen.
That's nice of you. The rubs really help. For some people, not me. No. I need just warmth. Direct heat. I'm not even on, you know what's weird is I'm not even on my period right now. I'm not. I've just been having like back and torso pain. And I don't know why. Yeah, bodies are bizarre. A massage would make me vomit. Yeah. Like, it's definitely different for everyone. Go get checked. No, I'm fine. No, I'm fine. It's actually been getting better. It's been getting a lot better. Close your eyes. Hot take. Reese's Pieces over Skittles. Oh, close your ears to Fallery. Yeah, no, I agree. Wait, Reese's Pieces over Skittles? I don't like Reese's Pieces. I don't like the Reese's Pieces. I also don't like how people call them Reese's Pieces. I hate it. Okay, what's happening? Shit. I left you guys alone for 5 seconds, chat. Also, it is already getting warm, but it doesn't really feel like it's like a 360 warmth. At least not just yet. I love Reese's Pieces. I hate that. You don't need... No. Reese's already rhymes with pieces. You don't need to call it Reese's and pronounce it Pieces because it's Reese's and it already rhymes with pieces. So it's Reese's Pieces, not Reese's Pieces, and also not Reese's Pieces. No, Reese's Pieces. Yeah, glad we cleared that up. No, I'm okay. Jessica, thank you. No. Back and lower. No. I'm fine. Thank you though. Reese's Pisces. Reese's Pisces. Reese PC. Reese PC. Reese PC. PP. Poo. Poo. How old am I? How old are you? How old are we? Okay, my child is still asleep. Wow, this is the longest she's ever slept, and she's still crying. She's still crying while she's still sleeping. Oh, Merkitty's sad. Oh no, what's going on? She is hungry and needs to pee. So let's have her eat first. Spinach frittata. How's Sims going? I'm sad I missed 3 hours. Hi, Jessica. It's okay that you missed 3 hours. We've just been piddle fucking around. So what did you miss? My baby girl grew up into a toddler. E-Money said that he wants to be in the game so he can smash you. White Tiger and Misty have taken it to the next step in their relationship and are working slowly to make babies. Yes, smash. Yes. And then, what else? What else? What else? Oh, White Tiger and Shrimp Jason got into a kerfluffle scuffle. They were fighting in what is now our toddler's bedroom. And White Tiger won. White Tiger won the fight. And so now Jason has been very uncomfortable ever since. Look at them. They're literally right next to each other right now. Oh no. Oh no. And they still have to live together. And then he declared him an enemy. But he all had to do it for an aspiration. It was all for the sake of aspirations. I wouldn't just do it just for the fucks of it. No. Okay, he needs to take a poopsie doopsie too. Oh my god. Flush the toilet. Yeah. Good job. Clean that shit. You literally just took a fat ass dookie. It's stinky in there now. Jesus, White Tiger. I'm glad you're cleaning it. And that baby still don't have a job. I mean, it's a toddler. It's still sleeping. See, this is the VOD I'd watch on YouTube over and over while I work. Well, it's a VOD on Twitch. It's a VOD on Twitch. All right. His hydration is done. So let's go have you take a shit in the toilet that White Tiger just cleaned. Especially because he just beat your ass up. So shit in his clean toilet. Enjoy your lurk and phone call. Thank you for the lurk. Alright, who's next? What is she doing? She's standing out here? Bladder, go take a shit. Oops. Pee like a champion. I have to have my screen going. I have YouTube Premium, so I'm able to close my screen. Oh, got it. Got it. Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll try to download this right after stream and post it up to YouTube. I'll let you know when it's joping, when it's uploaded. I'll do it. I'll do it for you, girl. I got you. Misty is feeling confident. What now? You can reach level 5, spend 100 hours on the computer. Okay, easy. Oh shit. People are doing it for you. We need like a full ass computer room. This is not enough. What are we doing? I'm playing Incredible Sports. Okay, Jace. Oh, you're done. Okay, cool. So Misty. Where did I get Jessie from? Misty can play. Let's do. Oh, that's cool. Offer mentoring. Oh. More choices. Oh. Okay, so how can I do the paid one? No valid sims to mentor nearby. They have to be nearby. It's too bad. So then the fight was funny as hell. I will, yeah, I will. So instead, let's just have you play in a game tournament. I don't even know if we won our other game tournament. The $10 one. So let's try the $20 one. Wow, Deftones. Yes. We all remember that. That was just like an hour ago. Deftones. I think everyone that was here remembers that, actually. But you know, that's okay. Thank you for reminding us again. Repair. Dude, $2,000 to replace it? Fuck no, you better fucking repair this yourself, dude. Fuck, he's tired though. You should investigate another fight. Round 2. We can even do a prediction. I was wanting to do a prediction first time. But let's see what they're at. White Tiger, are you here? Do you want, is that what you want? I feel like we have to have Jason here. It's unfair. Jason can't lose again and not even be here. That fight? No, that's unfair to Jason. I can't do that to my Jason. I can't do that to my Jason and my mod. Oh, shit. Okay, he fixed it. But can you also fix this for us, please? Oops. Repair. Oh, and this. Oh my god. Oh no. You and Jessica are here, but we're not enemies. Me and Jessica are acquaintances. Jessica doesn't have any enemies. It's just Brian. It's just White Tiger. Because his aspiration is mischief. Like his traits are disasterly. Disasterly sim means that they perform stronger and more successful mean interactions. So he's a meanie. Damn it, y'all beat me. Sheesh. Time to check. Time to check. Are we pure? Not tonight. We're always pure. Okay, my purity will set the standards about how pure we are this evening. Wow. Wow. I wish I didn't say that. Wow, I wish I didn't say that. Classic. Look, he looks like me. We're wearing the same onesie. Sort of, not really. Time for a Sims orgy. Oh, no. Sims orgy, onesie style. Let's go. Wow, who got the purest? 43% was the purest? For fuck's sakes. For fuck's sakes. 43% being the purest is really setting the standards low, guys. Come on. This is... I expect better from you. I expect better from you. energized. Is there any food left? No, there's no food left. Okay, where's our chef? Yes, chef. Yes, chef. Make some food. Yes, chef. What time is it? It is 12 in the morning. Cook gourmet meal. Let's go with, what's a 12 in the morning kind of meal? Tiered cake? Sounds good to me. How about chicken salad baka? I have no idea. No. Caprese salad. Actually, no. Fruit and yogurt parfait. That is perfect for midnight. I'm having soup and salad tonight. Ooh, what kind of soup? That sounds good. I recently bought some French onion soup to make. Comes with like all the stuff. Last time I had French onion soup was in Paris. It was fucking delicious. Oh. I had to have French onion soup in Paris. I mean, duh. You know? I made some chicken veggie soup in my crock pot. Ooh, look at you, little wifey, little homemaker. Little Jessica doing all the things to cook. Wow! Sleep. I have a great recipe for pork chop and French onion soup. Do you? I've never had French onion soup with any kind of meat in it before. What if you neglected to put the meat in there? Would it still be delicious and substance worthy? I might have to cut back on some of the other liquids to make up for the lack of meat. I have to twist some ingredients around, twist some arms, twist some dicks. The old good twist his dick. I mean, the meat is cooked in the soup like barbecue sauce. Yeah, I never.
Huh?
I've only had what am I trying to say? French onion soup with like onions in it. No meat. Is there a food channel in the Discord? Yeah, it's in the art section. Food is art. Farts. Food farts. Food fart. Follow your farts, everybody. All right, Merkitty is feeling confident while eating her yogurt parfait, but not Merkitty, sorry, Misty. But she needs to go to bed. So bedtime it is. What does that say? Spray the monster under the bed. Okay, she's definitely doing that. That's such a Misty thing. That is such a Misty thing to do. Spray the monster under the bed. Someone needs to screenshot that and send that to her. Misty, girl, you would go try to spray a monster under the bed. She wild. There she go.
Ponka.
Oh.
Villan Flarbin, Toby.
Oh, she didn't really duck down or anything, did she? Try it again. Try it again. Come back here. Try it again. She's like Febrezing her farts.
Ah, Vint. Janga Jerobi. Ima.
Sleep. Spray it how? I think we all know. Wifey did what? You saw, you heard, you came, you conquered. Next, Merkitty's asleep. Next, Emma Poison is asleep. Next, Brian's asleep. Next, Lexi's asleep. Girl, this kid has been sleeping her whole night. Dude, I don't think she slept at all as a toddler. She's finally asleep. Not toddler, but an infant. She hasn't woken up since we put her to sleep like yesterday. Is she deadsies? Basically. Yeah, it's we neglected her so much that look at her. She's crying while she's sleeping. I don't think I ever saw this child have like good stats. I'll be honest. But we can't just blame it all on me. There's like five other adults in this house, and that's like an understatement. There's like 10 other adults in this house. Why not? I don't know. I would use the Sims and I would try different Sims and I would click on the child and I'd be like, feed her, bathe her, do this, do that, and it just wouldn't. It just wouldn't. All of a sudden they would go pick her up and put her down. Save it for children's services. No, it's true. Every single time they would just go pick her up and put her back down. I think she was just too stinky. No one wanted to hold her. No one wanted to deal with the smell. Then they said, this is a job only a mother can deal with. And they just dropped her on the floor. Meanwhile, I'm over here like, oh, she's being taken care of. In reality, she's being fucking neglected. Fuck's sakes. I didn't do it. And that's probably the problem, is that I didn't do it. So, you know. Make a video game or an app, but when I go to program, I don't have that option. I have a make plugin, mod game, hack, make virus. I'm gonna just try to make a virus. Hopefully this will work. Alright, Kyle with style. Chatting with Jess and troll on the forums. Oh, typical. Fucking typical. Chatting with Jess and trolling the forums. Is this literally real life right now, Kyle and Jessica?
Yebony Demise.
You're literally real life in it right now. Just get it on already. Talk about dreams. Discuss interests.
Lorna. Imka Floof? Trina.
You guys are hitting it off. Slap them silly. Goof around, give fake bad news, discuss logic puzzles, tell jokes about heritage, share conspiracy theories. Oh, I think you guys will like that. Dinosaurs? Imagine saying dinosaurs are a conspiracy theory. That's wild. More choices? Relationship. Ask if single. Do you guys want to date? I'm asking if you're single. Oh, it's going up. Oh, you guys have learned that you're singles. Okay. Knock knock joke. A joke about politicians. Impersonate mermaids. The fuck you will. Propose a crazy scheme. Handshake with hand buzzer. Debate a game strategy. Funny. You guys should be funny with each other. Potty humor. Perfect. Tell girls joke. Perfect. Oh. Did it work? It worked. Wow. Ask due date.
Argonorga Fwash. Azarik. This rack.
Start preposterous rumor. Instill with false confidence. I'm fat. So me. Siren's lullaby. Leave me alone. That's so mean. You know what though? You could probably ask Kyle when he's due. You know what, Jessica? That's the best thing to ever say to someone. I swear to God. Okay. If anybody ever asks you, when are you due? Your response is, oh, I was about to ask you the same thing. Doesn't matter what it doesn't matter what gender they are. Oh, I was about to ask you the same. Got him. Fucking got him. And then if your parents ask you when you're gonna have babies, say, I'm gonna have babies, like, you'll be a grandparent when you look like a grandparent.
Purple Purpanine.
Got him.
Karashi
Got him.
Amazonic.
Got him. Got him. Got him. You'll be a grandparent when you look like a grandparent. They can't say anything. They can't say anything. Got him. Got him. Got him, bitch. Yo, bitch. I'll never have the babies because you'll never look like a grandma because you never think you look like a grandma. So you'll never have a grandma. Unless they're going to be like, oh, what do you mean? I already look so old. Can you ask a sim date if they're pregnant? Only if they're pregnant? I guess not, because you're not. No, you know the answer to that. You know the answer to that, silly.
Fenuza. One. Barbahoy. Shusha. Molo by Tevene.
I didn't know if I smashed. No, you're not pregnant. You're not pregnante. At least not that I'm aware of. Wait, could that happen? Could they... Oh shit, Lexi is very hungry. Be sure to feed her before she gets taken away. Oh shit. Wait, but could... Oh shit, this is so bad. Let me just yell at her real quick. Actions. Oh, fuck, where's the food? Where's the food? Why can't I feed her? Give drink? High chair is required? Oh, I need a high chair. Oh, I sold the high chair. Oops. I thought the high chair was only for like the infants. My bad. Ooh, wait, what was that? Ooh, wait, go back. It was like mermaidy. No. Fuck, what was that? I saw it. I don't know what it was. Right? You saw the mermaid thingy? Okay. So now can I feed her? Give food. Give food. See, look, I clicked give food and it says put Lexi down here. Is she gonna put her down and then walk away? Or is she actually gonna give her food? Hi, Mallow! See? She just walks away. She just walks away. Lecture about misbehavior. Give food to Lexi. Chips, cereal, applesauce. Okay, well, it is 8:30 in the morning. So we're gonna do cereal. By exploiting an underpatch overflowing oversight buffer search space, Doctor was able to infect thousands of legacy systems. The zombie machine overloaded banking network worldwide, netting him $110. That's terrible. Put down, talk, give food. No, don't. Just give the fucking food. Give your child the food! Oh my god. Give food. Finally, someone's giving her some food. Sheesh. Okay, I don't know what's going on with Mama. Mama needs to go to bed, I think. Mama's not feeling too well. Go to bed. Go to sleep. Come on, go to bed. Where are you?
Whoa.
Okay. So since now she's not hungry anymore, let's have someone take her out. No, let's have someone wash her. Who's here? Merkitty? Keep bubble bath. Here we go. Dope. Do it. Take her out. Give her a bubble bath. Yes. Okay, go upstairs. Swear, we have to babysit the babysitter. Oof. She gotta pee, she's hungry, and she needs energy. Okay, so if you're hungry, most likely means a lot of other people are. Oh, they're not. Just you? And there's no food? Oh wait, here's some. Oh, you're eating some right now. Good. Never mind then. You got it all figured out. Brian? Drinking, feeling happy. You gotta go to the bathroom. How do you go use the bathroom? And there we go. Lexi's finally doing better. Can she just pee herself in the bath? Splash. Babble to self. Just to pee though. Oh, I think I could take her to this potty training thing. Yeah, afterwards. Could she use this herself? Go potty help. Yeah, okay. She's gonna have potty help after the bath. I didn't know if I smashed. This is going in the 4K receipts. Let's go. Yay, money. Got him. Got him. Woo. Woo! It started vibrating on me. I don't like that it has vibrations in it, honestly. I'm gonna be real. Okay. You need to go to sleep. And... oof, you really need to go to sleep. Try to go to the bathroom, Lexi. Oh, you are? Good. Try to potty. Good. You can do it? Change of scenery. Missy is slinging code like a rock star. Slinging what? Is it working? Yes, it is working. It's debate. I need to use it more. Debatable. It's debatable if I like it or not. But it's working. It is turning on with heat and vibration. Missy is slinging code like a rock star when she is suddenly transferred into a position where she has no experience with. Does she speak up and ask for training or wing it? Yeah, she gonna wing it. Misty is like something to wing. You inspired me to get mine. It's 38 degrees here. Yeah. Get it, girl. Wow, she has a show. Lexi's got a show. Lexi is the show. No, she has a show. It seems she's booing. It needs to use a computer to cause mischief. 38 degrees is cold, dude. Let's see. Social networking? No. More choices. Socialize. Hi, Sienna. Welcome in. Welcome in. Troll the forums. Classic. Classic. Is she pottying? It's not actually going to the bathroom. She's trying. How's it going? You know, she needs to put some clothes on. It's going good. It's going good. We are just chilling, hanging out in a Yoda onesie, and managing Sims that are chatters. Actually, they are chatters. Oh. She can't put clothes on while she's potty training. This is a problem. We're gonna give them some privacy. Okay. Feeling energized, but you're sleepy? Interesting. How about you just take a little nap? A little snooze. Alright, he's using it to troll forums. How about you, Sienna? How's it going with you? Ooh, finally, she's happy. Oh, she used the bathroom. Oh, finally. Okay, Merkitty, you can put some clothes on now. Outfits? Change into this one. Okay, so where's Legsy going? What's that? What's that? Let's see. How about you go play with... Oh, everything's ruined? No! Repair. Okay. Merkitty will fix your toys. They're all broken. Play with toy. Here we go. Ducky. Play with the ducky. Why does it get cancelled? Play in the sand. Apple.
For no celebrities, Gorge Batman.
Oh, she can't walk down the stairs. Okay, pick up.
Daddy, no!
Daddy, yes!
Almighty _ white _ tiger 1984 gifted a tier 1 sub to Sienna Club.
Dope! Thank you so much for gifting a sub to Sienna! First time chatter, welcome in. First time chatter, first time sub. Let's freaking go. White Tiger, that's a W. That's so sweet of you. Sienna, enjoy the no ads while you chill here with us for an entire month. Hopefully longer. And the emotes across the platform of Twitch. Thank you, White Tiger. W. White Tiger. That white old tiger. White Tiger. Thank you so much, White Tiger. You're there, and you're there, and then Kyle is there. You're like, oh, I do, but who is that? Who was that girl? W, Tiger, W. You work here too? Oh, you know what? Oh, fuck. Why are you angry? Oh my god. Oh, eat. Oh, it's no food. Okay, chef. Cook a gourmet meal for everybody, please. We want the... How about that? Prosciutto wrapped... No. We want the chicken saltimbocca. Chicken saltimbocca. And then mermaid. Jesus. Jesus, mermaid. How do you read a book to your child? Read to children. Princess Plumbomb's Castle. It's part of my inspirations too, I think. Yeah, read to a child for a total of 2 hours. Bro, why am I angry though? Why am I angry? Not telling me. Why am I angry? Stomp? Bless.
Gensh? Oh, Lux. Oh.
You only know that movie because your sister and cousin liked it. Do you like the movie? British accent, alright? Well, I don't know why I'm angry. Oh, very tense. Oh my god. There's a fire and now I'm very tense. Oh no! Uh-oh. Bro, she's our chef and she just started a fire? Oh my god. The Logic household received $1,500 as an insurance payment for the item that were damaged during the recent fire. Oh. Cool. 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 Alright, well, we need to replace our fucking stove for $3,940! For fuck's sakes! No, come back here, finish cooking. No, don't take a bubble bath. I'm sorry that you feel this way, but you need to finish cleaning. Who the fuck is this lady? Who the fuck is this lady? Olga Nagata. Yo, Olga Nagata. How'd you get in here? I never saw it. They watched it to drive me away. Oh. That's lame. She was on fire this time. Who? I'ma poison you. Our chef. I'm Olga. That's me. Is it? If someone has a baby, you could be the baby. E-money. That's how Lexi came into this world.
No.
And she's still crying. She's still crying.
Luffy!
Jessica, what is going on,
No.
Jessica? Oh, you're freaking out about the fire too. You ran out of the house with the child. Perfect. Go bang someone, mermaid. I already did, and I ended up with this child. Actually, I didn't bang anyone. Me and Jason had a science baby. You know what I need to do? I need to read to the child. Read to children. Princess Plumbob. Oh, I read the wrong one. Dog on a log. Read the book to the child. Read the book to the child. Yo, Dr. Coma got promoted to manager. Fuck yeah. Dope. Jason brought home $200. Kyle's off to work. Dope. Read the book to child. Read the book to child. I love that mermaid is no longer angry after someone caught on fire. I'm happy. I got very tense and then happy. Where's the child? Read to child. Where is child? Supposed to be reading to this child. Where is child?
Oh, Neebs, pull on Duma.
Pick up the child. The only way this house survives is if that child becomes a firefighter. Jesus. That's actually a really good idea. That's actually a really good idea. Okay, so now that I'm picking her up, now can I read a book to her?
Lamita Noon.
Read to children. Princess Plumbob Castle.
Kill me out.
Schwabi from Vanage.
It's part of my aspirations. I gotta do it. Ooh, I almost have socialized with them 10 times.
Oh,
I don't get it though. Why aren't you reading the book? Oh my god. Like, what are you doing? Why doesn't she read the book to her child? Tell story? No. Maybe I have to have the book in my hands. Nah. That's crazy. Okay, so maybe, okay, go pick her up and then bring her here. Maybe I have to buy a different kind of book. Maybe that's it. No, I have this. I have those books. They're the same. When is winter? What are you doing?
Borba.
Listen to story.
Swing cow free for.
Interesting. Okay, well, at least it counted it as reading to her for an hour. Sheesh! Alright, that was not easy to figure that out. I don't even know how that worked. Alright, but that is where we gonna end it today. That was fun, though. I do like The Sims. I do like The Sims. Thank you guys all so much for being here with me. Being here with me. Oh, look, this song is called Goodbye. This song is called Goodbye. Do you guys remember when White Tiger kicked Mermaid's baby daddy's ass? Yeah. It wasn't my baby daddy, that was my science baby daddy. There's a difference, okay? There's a science baby daddy, and then there's like an actual one that I had forked and borked. Anyways, what day is it today? It's Thursday. All right, well, there's only one more Day of the week left. Only one heck and more, guys. And then we finally get to party. But for now, it's a goodbye. And for now, we're gonna go raid into someone else and say hello to them. And give them some ad revenue if you don't already have a subscription to them. Let's go see who is doing what. Who and what is happening in the world of places. Sleepy. Yeah. All right, we're gonna go raid somebody on the fleet. I believe you are already following this person. But if you're not, make sure that you do. And make sure that you're subscribed or stay till the ads are over. Here is the fleet raid message, so you can copy and paste that one. Make sure you have it copy and pasted here in the chat. The gradient heart one is for followers, and the jumping mermaid one is for subscribers. Please copy the one that you are currently. And have a wonderful night. Make sure you guys have some fun tonight. Put yourself first, which means go pee when you need to go pee, especially, okay? And see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday for Fun Game Friday. We're gonna be playing some other stuff. Maybe Sims, I don't know. Well, I don't know. We'll find out what we're gonna be doing tomorrow, okay? Bye, everybody. Bye, Amy. Bye, Tough Tones. Bye, E-Money. I'll see you guys later. Have a good night. Yeah, you can definitely do that, E-Money. Bye, everybody.